Good afternoon, welcome to Argyle TV. We are here pitchside at Home Park. We've had quite a lovely week off actually from games this week, but Argyle are back this afternoon in action against Sheffield Wednesday. We're going a little bit old school this afternoon with a hard copy script so I can let you know everything that's going on as we build up to the game at 3 p.m. So coming up, you've got myself building up until the game over the next hour. We're going to be hearing from manager Ryan Lowe about the preparations for today's game. New signing, Kieran Agard, is going to be talking to Argyle TV about becoming a pilgrim, and we're going to be joined by Argyle women's manager Ryan Perks ahead of their Devon Derby. But right now we're here with another Ryan. It is Ryan Dixon. You joined us not last week, the week before, Ryan. How are you feeling ahead of today's game?
Yeah, good. Obviously going to be a big game, big side Sheffield Wednesday, and it's nice. Hopefully, have a bigger crowd, and an entertaining game for the crowd that's here today.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, of course, I'm sure most people know, but just in case they don't, former left back, and you are currently the youth coach. So, how's that been going for you?
Yeah, really good. We've had a tough week, to be fair. A lot of age groups, a lot of training, but it's been enjoyable. They're now going back to school next week, so it goes back to night times. Whereas there's been a lot of double sessions during the week, and a lot of balance in different age groups, which I enjoy, but time consuming. So
yes.
Next week back into normal routine of after school, and the games programme begins.
Lovely. Now, Sheffield Wednesday, it's a pretty big game this afternoon. I'm pretty sure we had to bump up the allocation for the away fans. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like today?
Yeah, good. Electric. I think, fans obviously come to watch big games, and today's certainly one of them. Both teams are usually used to playing each other in the Championship, I would say, especially around my time when I was involved. Potentially two huge clubs that can obviously progress and are both going to be challenging for promotion and should be there or thereabouts the playoffs. So it's hopefully an entertaining game for a sellout crowd.
Yeah, and again, like always, hopefully it goes in our favour. So we're going to have a look at the team news in just a moment, but for now let's hear from Ryan Lowe and his preparations ahead of today's game.
When you're hosting a big club like Sheffield Wednesday and a big fan base like them, along with ours, it bodes well, doesn't it? And the lads are excited, been talking about it all week, but actions speak louder than words for me, and the group are excited by it. Obviously we're potentially a sellout in what we can have. I know they've sold loads of tickets in their numbers, and we'll be loud and proud as well. But in terms of, these are the games you want, aren't they? When you're looking at the fixtures coming out throughout the season, these are the type of games you want to be playing in.
Yep, there. Good. Take. Good, well dealt with. Good, have a leg. Love that, there you go. Good boy. Last set, Jack. Love that, lad.
Two big clubs locking arms, and two big fan bases locking arms, and that's a buzz for me. It's a buzz for the players. It's a buzz for everyone associated with the football club. Sheffield Wednesday do travel in the numbers. They're a fantastic support. They have a fantastic support home and away, but so do we. And it's going to be one of them exciting afternoons where I think and I hope both teams are singing along and cheering the teams on. These are championship games, these are championship clubs locking on together. I know we're not there at the moment, I know Sheffield Wednesday not, but for me these are two big clubs locking on to get 3 points, and it's hopefully going to be an exciting afternoon.
Backwards. Make sure. We're getting backwards.
When you've done your volleys, across you go, little bit of movement.
Sheffield Wednesday got some fantastic talent, haven't they? I think they've got championship players as we speak now. I think everyone in there have come from the championship last season. I don't think many who've been in League 1 or League 2. We can't look at, they've got a bigger budget than us. We don't look at that. We just look at our team, and we feel our team can compete against their team. Their team will feel they can compete against anyone. But they're coming to a different territory in Home Park on Saturday afternoon.
7, 8, good. Options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, well done, man.
We're a good team. They're a good team. They're going well under Darren, and so are we. Expectations are a lot higher for Sheffield Wednesday than they are for Plymouth Argyle, and rightly so. But what we've got to do is we've just got to go about our business the right way, which we will. We've planned all week for this game. I'm sure Darren's done the same with Sheffield Wednesday. And as I said, it's two big clubs, two big fan bases, two good footballing teams locking arms to take 3 points.
Right.
All right, we are back here pitch side at Home Park. We've just been given the team news for today, so let's have a quick run through Argyle's starting 11. In goal, we have Michael Cooper, then Jordan Houghton, James Wilson, Dan Scarr, Ryan Broom, Joe Edwards, the captain, Ryan Hardy, Connor Grant, Brendan Galloway, Panucci Kamara, and Luke Jeffcott. And a couple of changes. Ryan, what are you making of the starting 11 today?
Yeah, I think Ryan Lowe's got his work cut out really with that back line. I think last year it pretty much picked itself in terms of its strength. This year he certainly got decisions to be made, and obviously opting to bring James Wilson in is a big decision, but for myself probably a correct one with his experience and calmness on the ball. That's obviously left Gillespie out of the team, which he can feel obviously hard done by, but Galloway again's come into the team and done extremely well, so that's the hard decisions that Ryan's got to make. In terms of the bench, it's obviously good to see Danny Mayer back on the bench. His obviously ability is second to none and it's going to be needed today. And obviously Agard's come in and it's certainly looking like a lot stronger bench for sure.
Do you think it's likely we might see the likes of Mayer and Agard taken to the pitch today?
Yeah, I'd expect so, depending obviously how fit Danny is.
Yeah.
Will dictate how many minutes he gets, I guess. The same with Agard. Obviously hasn't played a lot of minutes and a lot of game time recently coming in, so yeah. I guess that'll be managed as well by Ryan.
Yeah, but nice to see him back in the game. It's been 2 weeks since Argyle last played in the league here, and the last game was against Fleetwood Town. It was a draw, 1-1. So let's take a look at the highlights from that match. Argyle in their last match against Fleetwood Town there, which came to a 1-1 draw. Behind us on the pitch, we've got Michael Cooper doing a bit of warming up. How do you think he'll feel having, unfortunately, let that goal in towards, well, not quite near the end of the match, but, you know, we were doing really well, and then it was just a very unfortunate goal from our perspective. How do you think he'll be feeling?
I think he had an extremely good game.
Yeah.
He's come back. I think he's grown in stature. Grown in age, experience has helped him hugely, and he started the season extremely well. So I don't think I'd be too disheartened with that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Goals happen. But today, you know, I think he's going to be up against it for sure. Sheffield Wednesday have certainly a strong attacking lineup, and they've got a good young goalkeeper as well. So the game of two good young goalkeepers for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, credit to him and credit to the team, because it's 8 points from the opening 5 games that Argyle have played, and they are still unbeaten here at Home Park. So how do you think that will be for the morale of the team?
Let's not jinx them, but I think it's
Okay,
I think it's huge. You want to make your home a fortress, and that's what Home Park's been whenever the club's been successful, for sure. Teams aren't going to like travelling down here. It is, whether we like it or not, in the middle of nowhere, and it's a tough journey.
Here he comes. You were about to say something really profound, and then Pete rocked up.
Yeah.
Pete, in holding up your hands, what are we saying? A goal for Argyle today. How many goals are Argyle going to do? 4. 4 goals for Argyle. Thank you, Pete. Lovely. Sorry, Ryan.
And a clean sheet. Yeah.
Carry on.
So I don't even know where I was, to be honest with it.
Okay, right. Well, let's go back to the team then. Obviously, we were saying Argyle have never been beaten at home yet so far this season, and Ryan Hardy as well, scoring some goals in that game and recently. How's his form been doing?
Yeah, I think, like I said, strikers have been doing well, and the other end, we've certainly strengthened that back line, which has helped, which has made Argyle a fortress. If we don't concede goals here, we're certainly going to score goals, that's for sure. Like I said, it's huge that we turn this place into, our home and a winning fortress, and then on the away games, nick points and wins. Vitally important and a good start at home.
Yeah, and I was just checking the team sheet again. It is Jeffcott and Hardy up front, so they kind of have made quite a combination together, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, they've both started the season extremely well. Both look fit, both willing runners, and both can get goals. Out of possession, they do a lot for the team as well, which goes unnoticed at times.
Okay.
They certainly, I think bringing Agard in is going to be huge for them, because they are going to run their race at times, and leg-wise, certainly give it their all. So that experience of bringing Agard in is certainly going to add to them, I think, and push them forward.
Yeah, and we've had the rest this week. There was no game last weekend. Will that help or hinder Argyle? Will the rest be good, or are they maybe a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan's rested a lot of them for the cup game,
Yeah.
and it was certainly a young side. So for me, when it's Saturday, Tuesday, it was always good to have a week break.
Okay.
To gather, get back together. Leg-wise, it's important to recuperate as well, especially ahead of a big game. It's going to be a test today for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm sure actually, like you said, they will probably benefit from that coming into a game like this. What have you made of the way the side have been playing then so far in their past games?
Entertaining. I do like the way Ryan plays for sure. It's very calculated, very measured, very precise, and it's modern day football, if you like. He likes to control the game. Sometimes it's hard, like we see in games when teams sit behind the ball, how you then affect the game and score goals, because teams are starting to respect Plymouth and sit behind the ball and defend the middle of the pitch, really.
Yeah.
Obviously giving respect to the 2 strikers we do have and the form they're in at the moment. So for me, Argyle's certainly on the up, and it's certainly a joy to watch. And I feel today that Sheffield Wednesday certainly are not going to sit behind the ball and let us have it. So it will be a very entertaining game.
Now, one of the names that we've both been speaking about is Kieran Agard, 31-year-old. He signed yesterday on a 6-month contract. Before we hear from him in just a moment, you've played with him yourself. What's he like as a player?
Yeah, I come across him when he was a young lad at Yeovil. I think he came in from Everton, if I can remember correctly.
Okay.
Good pedigree, extremely fast. Then went on to have a very good career at Bristol City. Can affect the games. Definitely what Ryan likes in a footballer. Goal scorer, willing runner, good attitude. I think it's a very shrewd signing from Ryan, and someone who's certainly fit into the group.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, let's hear from him now. So 31-year-old Kieran Agard, he is now officially a Pilgrim, and it went down very well with the fans. So here he is talking to Argyle TV this week.
Welcome to Home Park. How does it feel to be a Plymouth Argyle player?
Yes, it's really good. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm just raring to go.
It must have been a pretty whirlwind week or so. Transfer window shut last week, then I think you were down training with the team, went away, contract negotiations. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, obviously I came down earlier in the week. I met everyone, the players, the staff, and they were so welcoming. As soon as I stepped through the changing rooms, everyone was welcoming me. And all the staff were fantastic with me. And as soon as I knew that Plymouth was interested, I wanted to be here. So I played there before. I know the atmosphere is great, and I want to be a part of that.
played here before. We were saying as well, scored here before against the Pilgrims. But we're hoping you put that right a few times this season.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, I'll score a few more in that goal there. That was a long time ago, and yeah, I'm delighted to be here, and hopefully, I can score some goals.
I don't know whether you saw, but when your signing was announced yesterday, there was quite a big reaction on social media. Fans were wanting a new forward coming in, and some of them have mentioned your name beforehand. Is that a good thing that you kind of already have got a bit of backing from the fans?
Oh, definitely. You know, as I said, the fans are great here. I've played there before, and obviously, yeah, they're delighted I'm here. You know, and hopefully I can repay the faith and score some goals for them.
So you've trained with the lads a couple of times, so you kind of got a feel of how the squad plays. Played against Argyle before as well, and played against Ryan Lowe's sides. How do you feel you fit into that? Is it the sort of style that you think you'll flourish in?
Definitely, you know. As you said, I've trained a few times, and the squad's got great quality. You know, I've played against a lot of the players, and I know the quality of the players. And yeah, hopefully I can just obviously what I bring to the table can help the team.
Jordan Houghton have anything to do in bringing you down, having played with him last year at MK?
Yeah, my phone ain't stopped ringing, to be fair. Yeah, but no, he was great. You know, he was telling me a bit about the club. Like he's not been there too long, but he had a lot to say about the club, the area. You know, and he helped a lot.
Your goal scoring record throughout your career kind of speaks for itself. You've scored a lot of goals, a lot of good goals. Are you confident that in the pitch behind me here, you'll be able to do that again for us?
Definitely, you know, throughout my career, you know, I've loved scoring goals, you know, and I'd say I'm a goal scorer, you know, and obviously, like you said, my record kind of speaks for itself, and I just like to get myself in the box and get on the end of things. So obviously, the team here, as I said before, the quality in the team, and hopefully, yeah, I can score some goals.
I think was it 4 or 5 seasons you spent at MK Dons, so you were quite settled there. Obviously, scored a shed load of goals for them. A new challenge, a new place, somewhere like Plymouth Argyle. Does that really excite you?
Definitely, you know. As you said, I spent a few seasons at MK. So I scored a few goals, and now I'm ready for a new challenge. And as I said before, I'm raring to go.
We're talking just before a game against Sheffield Wednesday, where we're expecting almost a sellout. I mean, it's not a bad game to kind of taste your first home park atmosphere, is it?
Definitely, you know, the atmosphere is going to be amazing, and yeah, these are the kind of games that I want to be involved in.
You are watching Argyle TV in our pre-match build-up against our game on Sheffield Wednesday this afternoon. It's anticipated we might have 14,000 in the crowds this afternoon, and there is still plenty more here to come. Stay tuned. It is Plymouth Argyle versus Sheffield Wednesday this afternoon. The Argyle team have taken to the pitch just behind us. You'll see them warming up with none other than Pilgrim Pete, who has just actually stolen a football. Ryan, looking at everybody out today, the crowds are starting to fill up the stadium. Looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, strong squad, full squad if you like for Plymouth as well. I mean, playing surface, stadium, what more do you want as a young player?
Yeah.
And obviously for a fan today, great occasion for everybody.
Yeah, and they looked like they were in good spirits when they came out of the tunnel just a moment ago as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I think, like you said, that week off gives you that time to recuperate as a group, that togetherness again. And they certainly look like they're going to enjoy the day for sure. Yeah,
fantastic. So away from the first team very briefly, you will be well aware by now that 11 days ago we had some Argyle history being made. 15-year-old Freddie Isaka took to the pitch, and he's actually, well, I should say 15 years and 34 days old, making his Pilgrims debut against Newport County in the Papa John's Trophy to become the youngest player for the club. Let's hear from him.
So I think last Tuesday, the gaffer and Phil had spoke with my parents because they needed parental guidance because it's too young for me to decide. So I knew since then, but I was kind of keeping it on a low until I trained yesterday, and then I started telling my friends and things.
What was it like when you went into training for the first time?
It was definitely different. It was much more intense, more running and everything, but it was nice playing on the grass as well, so yeah, it was good.
Just kind of describe your emotions when you were stood over there. You got the nod from the gaffer, he said, right, Fred, you're up. Just kind of, what were you thinking at that moment when you stood on the sideline?
I wasn't too sure if I was coming on, but when I heard, I was just thinking, what can I do to affect the game, hopefully make an impact and do something to impress, so yeah.
And I think, if I'm right in thinking, I think our secretary, Zach Newton, had to ask permission from the school as well to see whether you could play. Is that right?
Yeah, my mum works within the school, so it was a quick response. I just needed to ask permission, and then they were quite happy with it to hear, I think. So yeah, it's good.
First appearance, but I'm guessing you're hungry for more, right?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, maybe not done enough now, but I'll keep working and hopefully I can get another chance.
Freddie Isaka there making his Argyle debut. 15 years old, Ryan, that must be pretty cool for him.
Yeah, I bet he's certainly the envy of his school at the moment, that's for sure.
Oh God, yeah, you forget.
Yeah, it's crazy. But to be fair to the kid, he's certainly got a bit of talent. Not probably best we don't get too carried away and expect too much of him. Like you said, he is only 15. But a great occasion for him, and a great occasion for all the young lads to play against Newport and get that first team experience, if you like, of playing in a proper stadium, a bit of a crowd. But certainly good for the football club, and there's a fair few around his age which have certainly got the a chance also.
Now, you were quite young yourself when you made your debut. How old were you? Tell me about that a little bit.
I was 17, yeah. That was under Sturrock, Bobby Williamson era in the Championship, which, yeah, I mean, at the time I was 17, and it's a scary time, I guess. An excitable one, but so I can relate to him in the fact that, well, especially being 15, it's, it's a big ask for him for sure, but something I'm sure he was certainly nervous about, but something I'm sure he certainly enjoyed as well.
What's the key for players of that kind of teenage age coming through to cope with, you know, the opportunities ahead?
I think first and foremost, just take it in your stride, enjoy football. Once you first get that opportunity, and impress, play. You're obviously a good player, just do what you're good at. Don't overdo things, just play to your strengths. After that, it becomes a lot harder to consistently keep performing and be in that first team, which the likes of Luke Jeffcott have now.
Yeah.
I think that's down to mental strength, dealing with stresses and pressures, and a real, mental strength, if you like.
Yeah, and they'll of course be playing with the senior players that we've got warming up on the pitch behind us. I think we've probably got the full Argyle 11 as well available for you to have a look at now if you wanted to bring that on screen and take a look at the players that we have today. These youngsters will be mixing amongst the ones that everyone's seeing now. You know, what will that be like for them?
Yeah, valuable experience. And I think that's something that Ryan and Neil have brought to the football club, to be honest, is that together as one, if you like, that one Argyle, and really integrating the young players within the first team. Because the only way you can get experience, well, get better and get that experience is being chucked in, which they are. And at the moment they're swimming. And certainly just the day-to-day of being around senior players in the dressing room, on the training ground, certainly just gives you that more, helps you grow up quicker and get the standards you need, I guess, which the senior players have.
And I suppose it says quite a lot about the academy as well and what the academy's doing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that link, everyone's on the same wavelength, the philosophy throughout the football club's exactly the same, so down to the 10s, you know that what the senior philosophy is, and you have to replicate that, so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, and talking about the youngsters, one man who will be very proud of how the under-18s have been playing the past week is manager Darren Way. His side unfortunately suffered their first defeat of the season against Swindon Town a fortnight ago, but they are currently in action against Newport County in the EFL Youth Alliance. So let's hear from the under-18s manager Darren Way.
probably the most important thing is to get back to winning ways. Off the back of the Bournemouth game, which was the last game that we won, whether players become a little bit complacent after a very good scoreline. Hard work on the training ground, trusting the players in terms of we all have bad performances, and we had to move on from the Swindon game pretty quickly. In terms of the experience that the players have had, there's been a lot of positives from that game. A lot of players making debuts. So in terms of the academy moving forward, with the manager giving the players experience to play at first team level, it's been a successful week last week.
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about that, because it was probably a pretty surreal week with the Papa John's Trophy game happening on the Tuesday. So many debuts, I've even lost count of how many debuts. And then obviously they had the game here, the Under-23s Premier League Cup game. Just talk to me about that week, because that's not a normal week, is it? That's slightly surreal.
I don't think as a player, a younger player, you could probably prepare for that, because it's almost put on you in terms of, by the way, you're going to be playing for the first team tonight. So parents travelling. I was at the Newport game, so I was in the away end, and I thought the Argyle fans were fantastic considering the type of game it was. They travelled in numbers, and they made a lot of noise, so there was an atmosphere that our younger players wouldn't have had before, and some can freeze just because of that pressure of it being a first team fixture. So that was very rewarding. In terms of performances, we always want a little bit more as coaches, but I think the experience, they're becoming closer to being men because of that experience and sharing the dressing room with first team players, and obviously Nance and Shuey and the gaffer, giving them their advice with a different voice. From that point of view, it's excellent.
What is it like, or what has it been like since? Because obviously now you're preparing for your bread and butter, the Youth Alliance League game and Under-18s game. Was it easy to get the players that did feature in that back down again and thinking, right, we've got a task in hand here? Or are they still up and a little bit excited?
I think the majority of the group are quite grounded. But it's important that once you've had this taste and once you've had this experience, you've got to be able to concentrate on what's really important, and that's the process of 18s football, which allows them to become a player daily, working on their strengths, working on their weaknesses, and then when they're called up again, if that happens with the experience that they've gained, they then become a better player.
This weekend is Newport, and the Papa John's Trophy game was against Newport, and there's probably quite a few players that would have played in the Newport side that you'll be up against today. So is that like a good, having watched it as like a fan, is that like a good thing to kind of see and prepare, having watched these guys in action already?
We'll always do our homework on the opposition, so some of the players would have studied the game today. They know the quality they're up against. I think over the last sort of 18 months, any youth team game now is a difficult win, which is, it's not easy. Winning is a very hard way to find that winning formula week in, week out. But the players have, been working extremely hard on the training ground. We've got principles that we work to, we've got a philosophy that we work to, and as long as they stick to those principles and enjoy the experience that they had last week, they're going to improve as players, and that's the most important thing.
Just finally, bringing it all the way back round again, you said it's important to get back to winning ways. This, I think, would be your first win in the Youth Alliance League if you were to get it, and to get that first win is always a bit of a milestone, isn't it? So how important is that? It's
very important for us as coaches and also the group in terms of confidence and moving forward. We knew the two games in terms of Oxford, Bristol Rovers were winnable. Unfortunately we didn't, but then we had the success at Bournemouth, so we had a little bit of a break-up. We were due to play Exeter, but that was called off because of the under-23s game. So yeah, there is a lot of focus on trying to develop and win at the same time, and the lads have been played with real intensity this week. They've been focused on winning, and as I said, it'll be that performance that every player will have to take responsibility, concentrate for 90 minutes plus, and hopefully we can come out winners.
And I have just been informed that the Argyle under-18s have won 4-2 this afternoon, so that's fantastic news. How good is Darren doing, Ryan?
Yeah, fantastic job. As you can see, obviously, with the players, you know, if you like the first team nicking his players, then that has a knock-on effect. He nicks the 16s and they all get nicked up. But yeah, no, I mean, he's been a breath of fresh air, I'm sure, for the football club. I had him personally as a manager for 3 years at Yeovil. So he's certainly used to, let's say, having less players because a shoestring budget at Yeovil he had to work with. So he's one of them. He'll just get on with anything. I think you can see the impact he's certainly had for sure.
Yeah, and how important is it for the youngsters winning their games as part of the under-18s team as well?
Yeah, for me, they say at youth level, winning isn't everything, which it isn't, but winning's certainly important. You can't progress for me if you're not winning. And he breeds that. He's certainly got that intensity to win football matches and that experience to pass on for sure.
Love it. Thank you very much, Ryan. You're going to pop back in a minute and join us. But right now, you are watching Argyle TV. We are here at the Theatre of Greens, Plymouth Argyle versus Sheffield Wednesday this afternoon. There is still plenty of time before kickoff. I'm going to be joined by another guest in a moment. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us. All right, you're back with us, Argyle TV. You'll see I'm joined by a different guest now. I'm losing my script. Ryan Perks joining us. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Very good. And also, we've got matching
tops.
outfits. Yeah, white and grey. Very good. Now, you are the manager of Argyle Women. How has the season been going for you so far?
Yeah, it's not been too bad. We've had a lot of change in the summer. We've had quite a difficult start with some of the top teams in the league. But we got our first 3 points a couple of weeks ago away to Kingsham. Didn't play that well last weekend against Oxford, but hopefully rectify that this weekend.
Now, very quickly as well, just for our audience, what's your background and how did you get into becoming the manager for Argyle Ladies?
So I worked full-time for Argyle Community Trust, so I was head of women and girls football. There was a change in management, not this summer, last summer. Got offered the job as an interim, took the job on and then got offered permanent, so yeah, it's been really good.
And enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. The girls are fantastic.
Fantastic. So we're going to chat a little bit more about them in just a moment and about the season, but we've had two more signings this week, Ryan, which you'll know all about, Amelia Rahouse and Ellen Thomas. Let's hear a little bit from them.
So Amelia, first of all, welcome to Argyle.
Thank you.
What kind of made you want to make the move to Argyle?
So I really wanted to play at a higher level than just university and what I've played before. So I looked at teams and then that made me want to sign for Argyle.
And what kind of player are you? What do you kind of think you'll bring to the team?
I'm really creative, so I'm hoping to really integrate that into the team and hopefully help the team win a lot of matches.
You kind of mentioned a bit there, but what are your kind of goals for the season? Do you want to make a certain number of appearances? What are you kind of aiming to do?
Yeah, I really want to get as many minutes in as possible to help the team, also to develop as a player, and hopefully score a lot of goals.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Owen, first of all, welcome to Argyle.
Thank you.
What kind of made you want to make the move down here?
So it was a decision between me and my partner, and you know, we had a house down here, so thought, you know, let's just do it. Let's move away from the London life, settle down here, and obviously in regards to football, we moved to Plymouth, so obviously we're looking to play for Argyle, and here we are.
And for those that maybe aren't that familiar with you as a player, what do you kind of bring to the team?
So I recently just transitioned into right wing back, which I was originally a centre mid, and I just moved just give it a go, and honestly absolutely loved it. Like, I was usually a box-to-box midfielder, but on the wing I just feel it's a strength of mine, just getting stuck in that way down the wing. And yeah, I've really started to enjoy that position, and it's stuck with me. Yeah.
That's really good. And obviously on Sunday we're playing Exeter City, which is a Devon derby. It must be a nice game if you maybe make your debut.
Well, yeah, I've heard so as well. I mean, it's going to be a big one. All I can go is of what the girls have said, and you know, sort of the past history between the two clubs. So yeah, it's most definitely going to be an exciting one to be a part of.
So we had Dan Newton there with the questions to Amelia and Ellen. Ryan, tell us about those girls.
Yeah, so Amelia come in when we had our open trials in the summer. Didn't really know much about her, to be fair, when she came in, but she trialled really well. She's more of like a holding midfield player, very comfortable on the ball, very creative. She's from Germany originally, so she's over at university in Exeter. So yeah, good addition to the squad. Ellen's just moved down from London with her partner. She's a right wing back, so again very comfortable with the ball, likes to show for the ball, very athletic, moves really well, and again another good addition to the squad, which we've grown over the summer really well.
Have they had a chance to play yet, or is that still to come?
No, so Ellen's in the squad for tomorrow's fixture. Amelia's going to play with the under-23s tomorrow just to get match fitness because she's missed pre-season, obviously being in Germany. So Amelia's going to play a couple of games with them before she gets settled into the squad, but Ellen's going to be in the squad tomorrow.
And like you said, tomorrow, Devon derby, what are we thinking?
Yeah, well, obviously everyone loves a Devon derby. We've always got to try and beat Exeter. That's a non-negotiable really at the football club. They're going to be up for it. We lost to them in the Devon Cup final last season, but we were in the process of a rebuild, so hopefully we can rectify that result tomorrow and get a good positive win.
Regardless of Exeter standing, for example, in the table, is there always an element of pressure regardless of where they are when you play them as an Argyle team?
Yeah, I would say any Argyle team who plays Exeter, there's that pressure, and it's probably the same for them. Just it's our local rival, the rivalry's there, the history's there, so yeah, hopefully we'll thrive off the pressure and get the result tomorrow. And
how much are all the players looking forward to a game like that?
Yeah, I think the players look forward to it. They want to get the result for the fans and for themselves. Like you say, the girls who were involved in the cup final were very disappointed, so we want to rectify that result. But they're all looking forward to it, and so do the staff.
Yeah, and I suppose it will probably be quite important for them to, especially against Exeter, bounce back with a nice win, for example.
Yeah, so it's quite nice to have this game to bounce back after last week's disappointing result at Oxford. So it gives the girls the opportunity to rectify that and get back to winning ways.
Yeah. So talk me through then the ladies squad in general. What kind of a setup have you got going on over there?
Yeah, so we train twice a week, so we're Wednesday and Thursday night. So we train at Marjohn's University. We have a 3-hour session on a Wednesday. On a Thursday we train at Manadon Sports Hub, and then fixtures on a Sunday. We've had great support from the club again this year with travel, so we travel on the first team coach to away games. John Lucas has come in and done a nutrition talk with the girls. So that the players aren't paid, so it is voluntary, but they give it quite a lot of time and commitment, and the standard is very good this year, and we're really happy with the squad.
Fantastic. And do you think women's football in general has kind of increased in profile over the recent years? Because we've had the Women's World Cup kind of increasing in popularity. Have you seen that trickle down a little bit to a local level? Yeah, definitely. So part of my job role with the club as well is I oversee all the younger age groups at the club. So we've got an under 10s, 11s, 12s, 14s, 15s and 16s girls football. If you go back 10 years, we probably only had 10s, 12s, 14s. Yeah.
So the growth in the Southwest is massive, and I think it's helped. Obviously, with the Women's Super League being on Sky Sports now and BBC, it's only going to grow the game, and I think women's football in the next 10 years is going to push on really well. So it's increasing in popularity, not just with people interested in watching it, but also the children, like little girls, want to get involved in football now. Yeah, even the girls playing. So even the local Devon Junior Minor League, the girls' league's expanded again this year, and more girls are playing football, which is fantastic, and it's good for us as a football club. Absolutely, definitely. I used to play when I was in year 6, and I was absolutely terrible. So you don't want to sign on then? You do not want to sign me, let me tell you that. Well, Ryan, all the best for the game tomorrow. Fingers crossed that you get the win against Exeter. We love to see it. Ryan here with us, thank you very much for watching so far. Not too long now until we have kick-off, and your kick-off
is tomorrow, like you said. What time, Ryan? 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock. So there we go. The ladies are playing 2 o'clock tomorrow. Thanks, Ryan. He's off. You are watching Argyle TV. Like I said, not too long until kick-off now. I make it almost 15 minutes, around about that point. And we are playing Sheffield Wednesday this afternoon here with the men's team. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic afternoon. I can see, well, I can barely hear actually, because there is so much noise in the stadium at the moment. But we'll have Ryan Dixon back with us in a moment. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Argyle TV. I am now back with a slightly different Ryan. Ryan Dixon is back with us again. Oh, they've all given you a round of applause, Ryan. Isn't that nice?
There's a lot of Ryans in Plymouth, isn't there?
I mean, it makes my job a lot easier because I don't really need to remember that many names today, which is fantastic. Okay, right. So back with us. Let's turn our attention to the visitors. Sheffield Wednesday. We should be able to bring you the team up on the screen for you to have a look at, and I'll just run through it with Ryan in a second. So we have got in goal Bailey Peacock-Farrell, Liam Palmer, Sam Hutchinson, Dominic Iorfa, Lee Gregory, Barry Bannon, who's the captain, George Byers, Marvin Johnson, Lewis Wing, Jack Hunt, and Silla So. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I can only apologise if not. Sorry, Ryan. What do you make of Sheffield Wednesday's team?
Yeah, very strong. I'd say it's a strong side for the Championship, if I'm honest, let alone League One. Goalkeeper, I think he moved for 2 million not long ago, another exciting prospect like ours. Barry Bannon, been there, done it, Premier League player, obviously their captain. Lewis Wing's a young exciting player from Middlesbrough, played with him at Yeovil, going to have a good career. Jack Hunt, it's just a name full of Championship players, which is a big test, but one for Argyle's younger players certainly should look forward to challenging themselves against.
Yeah, and they've had a fantastic start as well in Sky Bet League One after having relegation last season. They have won 3 out of 5 of their opening matches, but they did lose last time away to Morecambe, so that's good for us. Let's have a look at them now. First defeat of the season there for Sheffield Wednesday, and the first goal they've conceded, which is quite incredible considering. Let's have a look. Well, we had a little look at their team now. We'll bring it up on screen again. Ryan, just talk through some of the players that we've got in front of us.
For Sheffield Wednesday?
Yes, please, yeah.
I mean, defensively very strong. Liam Palmer, young talent, and Sam Hutchinson. I think he was at Chelsea. I don't think he's so young anymore, but two huge prospects in their time. Attacking wise, Lee Gregory, been a huge player for the likes of Millwall and Derby, goal scorer, and he'll obviously, I think, be partnered with So maybe up front. So then, I mean, on the bench you got Berahino and Patterson, Berahino I think moved for £12 million.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, there's certainly a strong bench for them also. It's just a team full of, like I said earlier, championship players, and like I said, for the younger players of Plymouth, something to look forward to for sure.
And we were talking today about how they've got two young goalkeepers on the pitch, with Michael Cooper for ourselves and Bailey Peacock-Farrell. Saved 2 penalties for Northern Ireland last week, so I mean that's pretty impressive in itself.
Yeah, someone just told me he saved maybe 4 this season already, so I think we touched on it earlier that he's certainly a young talent, and hopefully Argyle put a few past in the day.
Okay, right, very quickly then, predictions for the match?
For me, I think it's going to be goals for sure.
Okay.
Let's go 2-2.
Okay, I like it. Very, very moderate. That sounds good to me. Well, Ryan, I can let you go now. Thank you so much for joining us today. Ryan Dixon with us. You're off to do some commentary, I believe?
Yeah.
Lovely. Right. All the best. Thank you very much for that. Like I said, Ryan off doing commentary. He'll be joined by Rob McNichol for the match this afternoon, which is just over 10 minutes away now, so it's probably time for me to wrap up in just a second. But very quickly, let's just run through some of the other games that are happening this afternoon. Other fixtures in the Sky Bet League One league are Burton versus Gillingham, Cambridge versus Lincoln, Charlton versus Cheltenham, Ipswich versus Bolton, MK Dons versus Portsmouth, Morecambe versus AFC Wimbledon, Oxford versus Wycombe, Rotherham versus Fleetwood, Shrewsbury versus Crewe, Sunderland versus Accrington, and last but not least, Wigan and Doncaster. Okay, we are almost ready to go. Just a very quick reminder, if you are watching on YouTube and you're watching abroad, make sure you head over to Argyle TV on pafc.co.uk. You'll be able to watch the entire game if you're abroad, and if not, commentary of the game available in the UK. Argyle versus Sheffield Wednesday up next. I've been Erin Black. Thanks very much.
the crowd wasn't quite 8,000 people. Today it's projected to be somewhere in the 13 to 14 range, so it was at this level the last time these two teams played, but Argyle were on that downward trajectory at the time. It feels very, very different around these parts at the moment. My name is Rob McNichol. I'll be commenting. Macaulay Gillespie, returning. Danny Mayer is on the bench today. Jordan Garrick, potential debutant Kieran Agard, who signed as a free agent during the week alongside Adam Randall and Ryan Law. So some of the younger Argyle players that we've seen on the bench in recent weeks who have done a sterling job when called upon, such as Rhys Shirley, have just taken a step down for today as Argyle's bench starts to look a bit stronger. Hey, by the way, that's without Niall Ennis, without George Cooper, without James Bolton. So Argyle squad looking to be bolstered that little bit more. In fairness, we're playing a very, very good side today. Sheffield Wednesday squad is an eye-catching one as well. We'll wait till you get to some of the players on their bench that have some great potential. So I'll just go through the Sheffield Wednesday team for you. We'll do them in number order for the time being. We'll have a little look at where we think they'll all line up as we get into the game. But it's Bailey Peacock Farrell in goal, 2 Liam Palmer, 5 Sam Hutchinson, 6 Dominic Iorfa, 9 Lee Gregory, 10 and captain Barry Bannon, 14 George Byers, 18 Marvin Johnson, 26 Lewis Wing, 32 Jack Hunt and 40 Silla Sow. Their substitutes are substitute keeper Joe Wildsmith, Olamide Shadipo, Callum Patterson, Fisayo Deli Bashiru, Che Dunkley, Theo Corbiano and Saido Berahino, who is their own capture recently. Sheffield Wednesday, he'll be making his debut if he comes on at all today. He's a man that cost £12 million only a few years ago when he went to Stoke. He's been out of the English game for a little while, but looking to come back with Sheffield Wednesday, so there's a lot of potential in him and in several other of the Sheffield Wednesday team. Ryan Dixon has now joined me in the commentary position. We were talking about it earlier on. You've been talking to Erin about it as well, and we won't want to belabor the point, but this is a strong Sheffield Wednesday team that has come to Argyle today. It's a good battle for the Pilgrims.
Exactly that. I think it's a big football club. Say sleeping giant, but I mean they've just been obviously financially maybe hit a little bit hard and got relegated, but in terms of quality it's certainly still there in their squad. They'll definitely be looking to bounce back up. That's a championship squad for sure.
Looking at the balance of the two teams, not necessarily in terms of quality, not necessarily in terms of who we expect to win, but I think it's fair to say we can probably expect a different type of game than we've seen so far at home park. So far, the likes of Gillingham, Cambridge, Fleetwood, teams have come here to stifle. They'll be happy with a draw. They've come to play for 0-0 or something like that, and I'm not criticising that necessarily. It's more of a compliment to Argyle in terms of how they've come. But I don't get the feeling Sheffield Wednesday will come here to slow the game down, to try and nick it 1-0. They're going to be on the front foot. That could suit us.
Exactly that. I think it'll be an open game, especially the way Ryan wants to play. And like you said, it's enjoyable the way Ryan wants to play, the way Argyle's set up the last couple of years. The modern game of football, if you like. It's very controlled, it's very calculated, and it can be very entertaining. Today, Sheffield Wednesday aren't going to sit behind the ball. They ain't going to put a low block on, which will certainly benefit the viewing aspect, if you like, of the game. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be loads of goals and an entertaining game, and hopefully an Argyle win.
Yeah, there's a bit of counterintuitive thinking, because on one hand you'd say, well, if they're going to be open and Argyle are going to be open, it's going to be 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. But actually, Sheffield Wednesday have only let in 1 goal so far this season in 5 league games. They've actually only scored 5, but they've only let in 1. That was an own goal. That was the goal against Morecambe when they lost 2 weeks ago. So they've kept it quite tight at the back. We'll talk about some of the exploits of their goalkeeper as well as the afternoon goes on. But clearly they've got a lot of experience back there. They're going to be trying to shut up shop. So there's a little bit of counter-thinking there, but I think it's going to be fun either way.
Yeah, but when they lose, was it away to Morecambe?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's a tough place to go for any football club. But I think Darren Moore, big, massive centre-half, I think it says it all as manager, so they are certainly going to be strong defensively. But on the other hand, they need to win games. They're a big football club. Coming here on a nice pitch, it should be an entertaining game. And I don't think it's in Ryan's mentality, really, neither to sit behind the ball and play for a draw. So fingers crossed. I think it could be a really good spectacle for everybody to watch.
Yeah, that's the hope. The results so far this season for Sheffield Wednesday, they drew away at Charlton 0-0 and then had a run of wins. 2-0 at home to Doncaster, 1-0 at home to Fleetwood, 2-0 away at Rotherham, and then 1-0 away to Morecambe. And they've also kept a couple of clean sheets in the cups as well. against their 0-0 against Huddersfield. They lost that game on penalties in the Carabao Cup. And then a 3-0 win in the Papa John's against Newcastle under 21. So they're managing to keep the goals out in all sorts of competitions. They've also had a fortnight's break. They weren't playing last week, the same as Argyle, because of the break for internationals. How will that affect both teams, do you think?
I think it's a benefit. You start the season and it's absolutely crazy. It's hectic. You're playing Saturday, Tuesday, you chuck a cup game in there. And it's hard to go from obviously that pre-season straight into that type of fixture congestion, if you like. So having that week off, it'd be good for both teams. Ideally for Argyle, they would like to get Sheffield Wednesday down here on a Tuesday night when they've had a few games, but that isn't the case. They've had a break. Like I said, it's going to be an entertaining game. I expect a really good game.
The players are imminent here at Home Park. We're waiting for the teams to emerge from the tunnel. A few substitutes just making their way out. And again, I'll say a fair shout to Sheffield Wednesday, who sold out their initial complement. And then a few more on top of that. So it should be not only a big crowd, but a cracking atmosphere inside Home Park today.
Yeah, they always have a good fan base, Sheffield Wednesday. Both Sheffield sides, to be fair, but don't know why. I've always preferred Sheffield Wednesday. Made my debut against Sheffield United for Plymouth. And I've never really had a good game, if I'm honest, against Sheffield United, but always seem to do okay against Sheffield Wednesday. So it's certainly my more favourite side, if you like, of Sheffield.
Yeah, they certainly seem, always to me, feel like a big club, and I think it's more than 20 years now since they've been in the top flight, but to me they feel like a top flight side. They certainly were when we were growing up. But let's pause for a second and welcome the teams out onto the field. So the teams line up on the halfway line. Argyle in their usual green, black and green. Sheffield Wednesday not in their traditional blue and white colours today. They've got a pink shirt with black shorts and pink socks on. And in beautiful Devon sunshine, the two teams are getting themselves ready. The pitch looks in immaculate condition. The usual thumbs up to the ground staff who have prepared a fantastic playing service. On that note, there's almost no excuses today in terms of the two teams. They're going to want to get it down and play the ball. I think the hope is we see the nice open game that we've seen. It's going to be an interesting opening 10, isn't it, for each team trying to assert superiority, get hold of the ball early doors.
I think that's exactly it. Like you said, the pitch is outstanding, the stadium, the weather, to be fair, is a perfect game for football. And, you know, like you said, with both teams having that week off, they should both be fresh. And tactically, should really both, I think, are going to have a go at each other. So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly a game on, you know, the fixture list you'd be looking forward to beforehand.
Let's have a quick look at Argyle's bench, Ryan. We talked about it earlier on, but with the incoming of Kieran Agard offering that bit of experience, not played a lot of football over the last little while, but an experienced centre-forward who has scored against Argyle in the past, if that name feels familiar to you at home, as well as the return of Danny Mayer, who we haven't seen since the game against Peterborough when he went off injured. Doesn't get straight back into the team, partly due to fitness, partly I'm sure due to the form of the likes of Ryan Broom. But those two, plus Jordan Garrick, Adam Randall, there's players on the bench who, if it's not going well, the Ryan Lowe can look to and unlock a defence. There's a lot of options there.
It's looking stronger. I think we touched on it earlier in the season that the starting lineup certainly looked a lot stronger, but obviously the bench was full of youth. Now, I mean, you look at the bench and you're thinking with Agard on it, Mayer coming back, and Garrick and Gillespie, you know, he can be extremely hard done by to be out of the squad because he's bit out of the starting team because he's certainly started extremely well this season. It's certainly looking a lot stronger squad for Plymouth, and you know, I'm excited really for this season because I think that squad now can certainly challenge at the top end playoff area for sure.
Well, I hope you're right, and today certainly feels like a test of those sort of credentials. You look at this Sheffield Wednesday team on paper, and if you told me this was the team that was lining up for them potentially in the back end of last season in the Championship, I wouldn't disbelieve you. They were relegated last season, but they were really only relegated because of their points deduction. Had they had those points reinstated, they would have been okay. They would have been above that dreaded dotted line. Argyle players paused to take a knee, and our referee this afternoon, Ben Speedy, will get us underway here at Home Park. Sheffield Wednesday is that kick us off and move the ball along their back line. The ball is with Liam Palmer on the left-hand side, who looks for an early ball into a channel, looking for Marvin Johnson. Johnson comes infield, holds the ball on the left-hand side, just tries to turn away from Kamara. Early cross to the near post, could be a chance here for Wednesday. Heavy touch, but it comes back out to Johnson. Little clip ball in, header up in the air by Wilson, and then further away by Houghton as Argyle in the opening 30 seconds just deal with a minor Wednesday threat. Really well done by Kamara, brings it away and manages to get away from a couple of players in his own half. He's fouled. Referee allows play to go on. Grant down the left in towards Ryan Hardy, who gets his first touch early on. Down the left-hand side, he comes inside a couple of players and retains it. Lively start already within the first minute. Argyle moving along their back three with Wilson. Kamara with a little 1-2 with Houghton. What a bright start already. We've literally played 59 seconds and Kanuchi Kamara already catching the eye. Well, we've played a minute, Ryan, but it's already quite lively.
I think you can already tell, like there's no, mid-blocks, low blocks, teams sitting off. It's just, let's go and press, let's try and affect the game, both teams. It's been a great start to the game for the first minute. You just touched on, obviously, Kamara there. His athleticism's outstanding. The amount of first and second balls he wins, interceptions, and he's a real industrial player.
Ball is high on the halfway line. Scar comes a long way to win the header, and Ryan Broom gets there in front of Silla Sal, and Argyle have it on the left-hand side again. Broom gets it back from Grant. He's now under a bit of pressure and has to go back to Brendan Galloway. His red boots shining in the Plymouth sun as he returns it to Cooper. Scar again. Argyle will want these early moments on the ball just to try and get a good feel of it. Scar looks for a channel, looking for Jeffcott. It wasn't quite over Sam Hutchinson. The ball is in the centre of the park from Wednesday, but they leave it to one another. There's a chance here for Edwards. He gets away from his man, is brought down, no foul given. Argyle still have it though. Edwards inside the area. This time Hutchinson manages to win the ball. Wednesday will try and bring it away with Sal, and there's a break on here. Gregory's in front of him. There's a bit of miscommunication, and Argyle should gather with Scar. And as he returns it to the goalkeeper, I'll come to Ryan. That was a bit of miscommunication from Wednesday, but great anticipation from Joe Edwards. Just didn't quite fall for him, but it was nearly a chance there as Edwards, was able to get on the loose ball.
Yeah, nearly got in. Palmer there just recovered really, really well for this level. I mean, I'll be surprised if he's still here come January. Palmer, very good player for this league. You can already see Sheffield Wednesday, they're pressing high, they leave themselves 1v1 pretty much at the back. Here we go.
Chance here for Hardy trying to skip away.
But this is literally what I was just... Oh no, they're brilliant.
Down the right-hand side come Wednesday,
yeah.
Argyle.
So
see that off.
There we go. So it's pretty much what I was saying, that they leave themselves 1v1 or 2v3 at the back because they've got strong defenders, so they can press high. And on transition, obviously, they're very strong going forward. So I'm not surprised they've only conceded one goal, but it's not through a defensive shape. It's just because I think they've generally got the defenders who can do the job.
Here's one of them, Iorfa, who knocks it long up the field towards Gregory. That's good battling between he and Scar. Scar comes out with the ball. Edwards down the line. Jahadi was offside, so he leaves it, and it'll go through to Bailey, Peacock, Farrell in the Wednesday goal. We should say Wednesday are lining up with a broadly 4-3-3 system. Their deepest of the midfielders, George Byers, and in front of him, Lewis Wing and Barry Bannon complete a midfield. Gregory is up front with Johnson to his left and Sal to his right. Johnson actually played left back last week, or 2 weeks ago I should say, with Palmer playing centre back, but they've had a bit of a reshuffle on that front. And they return to a more orthodox back four with Palmer playing at left back and Hutchinson coming in at centre back, who wasn't playing last time.
This is brilliant. This is going to be a really good game. Yeah, like I said, Ryan, he isn't going to be the type, I don't think, to sit behind the ball, and it certainly shows that. Argyle on the front foot and Sheffield Wednesday trying to play out, and vice versa. When Argyle got the ball, it's going to be a really entertaining game.
There always seems to be space at the moment, and Ryan Broom has just found some on the left-hand side. 1-on-1 with Byers, comes in field, gets across to the far post. Edwards was trying to come in on it, just in the end the ball spun away in the opposite direction and goes out for a goal kick. If you are just joining us late here on Argyle TV, we've played coming up for 5 minutes. It's Argyle 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, but a very, very bright start. We forecast an open game, and so far it's always been a team countering the counter-attack and looking for those spaces. And now Argyle going to pick up another loose one here. Conor Grant is the first to react ahead of Hunt. Can he get into a crossing position? Does. It's blocked, and it's out for an Argyle throw. We've already seen Ryan Dixon a couple of times early on here that Sheffield Wednesday just been a bit casual. Argyle picking up on some loose balls.
Yep, trying to play out from the back, and Ryan's just pressing high, which is what, that's his philosophy. That's what he wants: win the ball back high, put them under pressure, be brave. And yeah, Sheffield Wednesday struggling to get out from the back, to be fair. Argyle have been unlucky.
There's a Grant cross there which was deflected out for a throw in, and Argyle have it on the right flank now with Joe Edwards into Jeffcott. Back to Kamara. Argyle retain it, although they're going to have to go back to the halfway line with Scar. Across to Galloway, under pressure from Sowell, managed to play it off of Sowell, did Galloway, and it's out for an Argyle throw in on the left hand side. Down the line from Conor Grant. Hardy lets it come on to him, he's right by the corner flag now with his back to goal, pressured all the way by Dominic Iorfa. Grant again, slipped by the defender, allows Grant to come to the side, gets the cross in, goalkeeper comes for it, gets a parry on it, Edwards hooks it over his head, and into the net! Argyle take the lead on 6 minutes, and last season's player of the year, Joe Edwards, capitalises on a goalkeeping mistake to flick it over his head. It was improvised, but it was effective, and this game has its early goal. 6 minutes into the game, Plymouth Argyle 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. It's Joe Edwards.
Yeah, Kamara's done extremely well there. Go unnoticed as well. His challenge on the goalkeeper, the leap on the lad, has just made the keeper, the young keeper, make a bit of a howler really of it. And Joe's improvisation is outstanding, especially for the opposite wing back. That's what you want, and that's what Ryan wants, especially opposite wing backs get in the box. And Joe certainly has got enough for doing that and getting the odd goal.
Yeah, he got himself into double figures last season. And he's already got one now. We're only in the middle of September, not even towards the middle of September. And Joe Edwards with his first goal of the season. And do you know what? All of the stats that I have about Bailey Peacock-Farrell, the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper, are so positive. But you've got to say, as Mike Cooper claims one in the opposite box, you feel like the goalkeeper should be claiming that crossing, don't you?
Yeah, like I said though, I think Kamara, if he doesn't challenge him, it's an easy catch for the keeper.
True.
What's happened is Kamara's made him take his eye off the ball a little bit, and he's a little bit wary of, do I parry it or do I catch it? He's got caught in two minds, I think.
Hardy down the right hand side, Kamara gallops in front of him, should keep this in, tries to come in field from Palmer, who read that one really well and just was strong enough to hold Kamara off, and now he's hauled him down. Referee allows play to go on. Hardy whips it into the near post, it didn't quite come for Jeffcott. There's a possibility Argyle might have preferred the free kick there, but I suppose the referee has got to allow it to continue. But Palmer got the better of Kamara, but then Panucci Kamara not giving up, managed to get himself back in front. He's had a great start to this game.
Exactly that. I was just about to say that. He's had a great start to the game. He always seems to have good starts to the game. His energy and athleticism is just frightening, really. What he brings to this team is invaluable. I would love to have played with him in that respect of just his work rate, second balls, the interceptions he wins. He's certainly a good team player.
Home Park is bouncing, and I mean that quite literally at the moment. The Devonport end on their feet, bouncing up and down. They've seen their team lead early on in this game. We sensed it might need an early goal, certainly from an Argyle perspective, to try and assert some authority, and they've found it. Argyle have gone 1-0 up in every home game so far this season. The ball is with Iorfa at the back for Wednesday. Infield to Lewis Wing, straight through the centre to Gregory. Nice ball round the corner to Bannon. Oh, he could have gone himself, you know, Barry Bannon. He tried to go for the wall pass and return it to Gregory. Had he taken a touch and maybe gone for goal himself, he was a bit unselfish there, wasn't he, Bannon?
Especially with his shooting ability. But
obviously delighted he hasn't gone and had a shot, to be honest. Yeah, that's the threat they possess there. A little bit of link-up play with two quality Championship players. But with the like of Wilson at the back, read it well.
Headed by Hardy over the top. Can Jeffcott get there before Iorfa? It's a bit of a battle in the end. The defender is just slightly the stronger. But this Sheffield Wednesday outfit that has let in 1 goal in 5 opening league games, 1 goal in all competitions this season, looks a little porous early on here. Argyle not quite getting in, but there was a chance once again. Hardy and Jeffcott combining, and now they have it once more with Broom, who gets away from his man. I thought was checked. Referee probably deciding the ball was far enough in front and doesn't give it. Now Jeffcott is putting some pressure on Peacock Farrell, who clears to the Argyle's right. Edwards just beaten to it by Johnson, and Wesley have it again. Not for long. Edwards wins it back on the halfway line. Under pressure all the way from Marvin Johnson. Forward from Scar. Will eventually fall to James Wilson. He looks towards Jeffcott, and it goes a bit too high. Oh, Peacock Farrell misjudged the bounce there. In the end, just about got his right arm to it as it bounced over him. This is a goalkeeper, folks, who is on loan from Burnley. He cost Burnley £2.5 million. He saved 2 penalties this week alone for Northern Ireland. He's faced 4 penalties this season, of which he's saved 3 and the other one hit the post, and he's let in 2 goals in 8 games. This is a goalkeeper in serious form, and Argyle have not only breached him, but he's looked well, I'm not going to say the D word and say he looked a bit dodgy, but he's had to react a little bit there. He looks like he's lacking in confidence, which is a big surprise.
Yeah. Well, the tempo of the game probably hasn't helped. It's I'm going to say the majority of games that Sheffield Wednesday are going to come up, teams are going to sit deep. Plymouth haven't. It's a high tempo game, good atmosphere, and I think he's been caught off guard a little bit.
But a very, very long way to go, because this Sheffield Wednesday team poses a threat. But Ryan Lowe will be delighted about the start they've made so far. Argyle have made so far against his old team, and now here's Grant trying to slide it through for Jeffcott. Oh, it's not going to fall through. He sees it, gets it on the return, and it's blocked off. It nearly fell for Jeffcott, and then the loose ball, he wasn't quite aware of it first of all. Edwards swings across him, which is low. Wednesday clear away to the halfway line. Scar tries to head it to Wilson. He hooks it forward. Kamara misses it. Jeffcott misses it. The pitch is bouncy, isn't it? The first bounce is going 5, 7, 8 feet in the air once it's bouncing on. In the end, Wednesday have picked it up, and it'll be Hutchinson to bring it away. Luke Jeffcott just didn't quite see that, did he? He was making the right run. Conor Grant tried to find him. He just wasn't quite aware of where the ball was falling.
I don't know whether he was leaving it for Kamara behind him, or he was a bit reluctant to take it in his own path. But God, what a start of the game it is. James Wilson as well started this game extremely well, which is needed to put us on the front foot.
He has, and he has the ball now, having just guided it back to Cooper. And as is usual, Mike Cooper doesn't go long unless he has to. Although you can see the Wednesday front three just trying to push up onto Argyle's back three. That forces Coops to go towards Grant, but it goes from Grant to Broom and now Hardy. And he's done really well, Ryan Hardy, with 2 or 3 around him. Out to Grant, keeps it in on the left-hand side, comes in field. Ryan Broom, 25 yards out, slightly left-hand side to Grant. Galloway now joining in, here he is, gets on the edge of the box, bursts into the area, doesn't quite fall for him, he goes down, it's not a foul. Wesley will bring that away, but great to see Galloway joining in those kind of areas, showing that confidence. But it's the Owls now who will look to break on their own terms. Palmer to wing, and now Bannon. Good awareness from Bannon, swings it out to the right-hand side for Jack Hunt, the right back. He gets it back, and now Bannon again. Looks to switch, blocked off, and now a chance for Kamara to come forward for Argyle.
Oh, did it hit a player before it hit the ref though? It's a bit... It's a tough one without seeing it again.
Yeah, the ball just struck against the referee, and he automatically has to stop the game now, that's the rule.
Plymouth are saying though they blocked that initial pass, then it's hit the ref. It's a little, they can feel a little bit hard done by Plymouth there.
Wednesday have it, and they have it on the right-hand side with Hunt. He goes back to Iorfa. And they'll be the team now, Sheffield Wednesday, they'll be looking for just a minute or two to get on the ball, won't they? Because we said it would be a battle of the two teams early on to try and assert themselves. Can Wednesday get themselves in the game here with Bannon a bit too far ahead? And Cooper picked it up. We played, let me see, 14 minutes, and Ryan Lowe will be delighted so far.
Absolutely delighted. The tempo his team started at and the quality they've shown so far, that high press, nice and brave as a football team. This is what Ryan wants. This is the type of football he wants. Teams that come in and sit, deep and put a low block on, it kind of kills that. Today's going to be a really entertaining game.
Argyle down the left with Grant, trying to get beyond Hunt and get into the area, does so, deflected cross, corner. As is so often the case with Argyle, a lot of the attacks are going down the left-hand side with Connor Grant, and it's a good battle between him and Hunt. Already, I would say Grant is winning that battle early on, but it's going to be an interesting tussle all afternoon, I get the feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it, I think, in the Fleetwood game. It does seem that, that's the side Argyle attack on, and then the right side's more their crutches, if you like, that balances out the team and more reliable on transition, let's say.
Corner from the left towards Scar, headed away by a Wednesday head, and it was the player that nodded it out who has chased it. Just can't quite see how it was Gregory, the centre forward, who headed it out and then tried to follow it up. But nicely done by Houghton, who's not been in the game much so far, actually, Houghton, but he did well there. Grant, Broom into the air on the left-hand side, tries to pick out Kamara, steers it goalwards, oh, it's just wide.
Oh, that's unlucky. Good contact, maybe could have done with going with his left foot rather than his strongest right, but arrived in the right areas. I think that's something that maybe, Ryan has been mentioned to him. Can he get more goals from midfield, that 8 position? Because he certainly makes good time runs into the box, Kamara. It's just finishing that attack sometimes.
To be fair to him, that one kind of fired at him about waist height, didn't it? And he had to try and guide it in.
It's unlucky. Good play by Brooms. Get Brooms on the ball as much as we possibly can. Good player.
Palmer for Wednesday, just nicked off of him by Edwards. Partially cleared by Hutchinson down the left-hand side to Johnson. He feels he's being held onto. Referee doesn't give it. Eventually Johnson is able to knock it down the line, but I think it will get to Cooper, just about. That was pretty close to the line. Lee Gregory feels like it could have been outside. The referee, I think, is covering himself by saying it was a push by Gregory and allowing play to go on. It was pretty tight towards the edge of the box there. Benefit of doubt with Argyle, and the ball is with Mike Cooper. The Green Army in good voice, as you can imagine. An excellent start to the game. Can they push it home? So far, Argyle have scored 1 goal in each of their 3 home games, and that's yielded 5 points. A 1-0 and 2 1-alls. Might they need a second today, or maybe even more, to seal this advantage? We feel like Wednesday are going to have their chances, but thus far in the opening period of the game, it's been all Argyle, and now here's Hardy, edge of the box, gets his shot away, on target, saved by the goalkeeper away to his left. He made Peacock Farrell work, although didn't massively test him there though, Ryan.
No, I didn't catch it quite right, really. The connection on the ball wasn't great, but it hit the target, asked a little bit of a question of the goalkeeper. Just the tempo of this game's ridiculous. Keeper's then caught it straight bang, rolls it out, and then Sheffield Wednesday are on the attack. There's no respite, if you like. It's just you attack, we attack, you press, we press. It's brilliant to watch.
In the week, Ryan Lowe described this as being a game between 2 championship teams. What he meant was the size of the clubs and the fan base and all of that kind of stuff. But we're certainly, from what we're seeing on the pitch so far, seeing no lack of quality. This could easily be a championship game. If you tuned in thinking it was going to be that, you wouldn't be disappointed. Although you would perhaps if you were a Sheffield Wednesday fan at the moment. But they have the ball, and like I said, they're going to have their chances. How are they going to get one now? Here's the man who you would think would carve them out, Barry Bannon. Spins, gets the ball into Gregory, tries to get it back. A series of 1-2s. Bannon into the edge of the area. To his left, Johnson gets it across. I think it was an attempted cross, whatever it was on target, but easily pouched by Mike Cooper. But Barry Bannon, he's 31 now, Scottish international. You'll know him for playing for Aston Villa, among many others. He's now played just over 250 games for Sheffield Wednesday. He's got the talent, the ability, the know-how. You think he's going to be their threat, wouldn't you, if they're going to have one?
He's a seriously gifted footballer. Whenever you see Sky Sports, that's the main thing, player that people talk about when he's playing on the football pitch is his ability and the effect he can have on football games. So the more Houghton can, limit that and, mark him out of the game, the better, really. We need to limit his touches as much as we possibly can.
It's always reminded me a little bit of Charlie Adam in that sort of mould, someone that can come and really take the hold of the game, drop a bit deeper, and here he comes now, gets it and drives away. Houghton stood with him all the way though, credit to Jordan Houghton, and his pressure was able to win the ball back for Argyle on the halfway line with Panucci Kamara. Back to Edwards, along through Wilson, back to Cooper. Pressure from both sides there, brilliant from Houghton to help win the ball back, but Wednesday not sitting off and letting Argyle have it. Cooper out to Edwards, and then Jeffcott, Kamara, and Jeffcott again. Nice stuff. Hardy held his line, left it though for Edwards down the right-hand side. Can he get the shot away from the angle? It's a good bit of defending from Sam Hutchinson. Full length to block it off. It was turning into a difficult angle for Edwards, but he didn't have too many with him. He had to go for goal, I think. Good block by the defender.
Brilliant play. Great passes for play. Little triangles down the right-hand side. And Joe, I think he's looked for an option. He knows that it's a tight angle. He's looked for that option, that ball across the box. No one's arriving, so he's had to take the shot on himself. And he just delayed that decision. Maybe if he took it a little bit earlier, might have had a better chance. But like I said, he was looking for support.
If we go back to the start of that move as well, Michael Cooper had the ball at his feet, didn't have too many options, and actually pinged one onto the head of Joe Edwards, and that's what started things off. Anyway, it's led to a corner. Houghton to take. Right flank, lots of bodies in the 6-yard area, clipped into the near post, it bounces around, it falls loose. Houghton will have another go from the right. Touch to set, touch to clip to the far post, goalkeeper comes for it again. He got two hands to it. This time he got hold of the ball on the, well, not even the first bounce, but he sort of parried it in the air and then caught it again, but it wasn't necessarily convincing, although he did his job. Wednesday will bring it away. Bannon thought about the big diagonal ball, in the end changed it and went to Palmer, the left back. Tries to play it into the feet of Johnson, but that wasn't on. Well played by Edwards, and then swept along by Jeffcott. I think it was the right ball, nice and early towards Hardy. It was just a little overhit and out for a throw in.
Possibly, he had a little bit of time really to check his shoulder and turn on the ball maybe as well, and then slide. He just a little bit rushed from Jeff's there, to be fair.
Here's Ioffa into the feet of Lee Gregory. Scar is on it, sorry, Wilson is on him all the way. And in the end, Wednesday a bit loose again with their passing. It's gone out for a throw to Argyle around about the halfway line on the left flank. It seems that both teams, as soon as the other gets the ball, there's no sitting off, there's no letting anyone play. It's going to be hard to sustain this, isn't it, this tempo?
It will. Luckily, Plymouth have got a strong bench. I think it's going to be an entertaining game through the whole of this game. It will be hard to sustain. The longer this goes on, the more chances are going to be created for sure.
Wednesday have it. Johnson to Palmer. Ball went past him. Palmer left it rather casually, as if to say, that's our ball, but I think he was trying to convince the officials as well as himself. He didn't manage it. It's an Argyle throw. Joe Edwards is about to take it. 3 yards away from him. Ryan Lowe is gesticulation. I was just going to say, who is he talking to? I think it's one of the forwards, certainly.
Yeah, it's Hardy. He wanted a quick throw, and Ryan didn't really show up for the quick throw.
Jeffcott goes to ground. Argyle want a free kick. They've got a throw in. Maybe 30 yards or so from the corner flag on the right flank. Edwards getting set to take it. Jeffcott helping, so is Hardy. The two of them, they're never far apart, that pair. Thrown down the line, comes off of Hardy, goal kick. There's a few ironic cheers in the away end. They feel like they're getting short shrift so far on decisions. That's their prerogative, but I suspect as much of that is frustration at being a goal down. They've lost one game this season, Sheffield Wednesday, in 90 minutes. That was at Morecambe 2 weeks ago, and by all accounts, they fairly well dominated that game and just couldn't score. They're probably used to having things largely their own way, and they've not been able to have that this afternoon, and that's to Argyle's credit. I'm not quite sure how much Sheffield Wednesday are having an off day. It feels like Argyle are playing well to me and doing their jobs.
I'm not having an off day. I just feel as if Argyle's tempo's higher, their pressing's higher, they're covering, their just general concentration and intenseness of the way they want to play. And at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday haven't really been able to get a foothold in the ball, as long as Bannon doesn't touch it. Simple as that. He doesn't touch the ball, they seem to struggle really to get a foothold in it.
Ball is with Peacock Farrell, and through wing and out to the flank to Palmer again, but it's blocked off by Edwards and he comes forward. That's actually well played by Hutchinson, who brings it out from the back. He's fouled. Ooh! Now this is interesting. The referee had given a free kick for a foul on Sam Hutchinson, but he then went flying at Jordan Houghton, who is very, very athletic, and got out of the way. There was no contact. We're going to restart with a Sheffield Wednesday free kick in a slightly unorthodox move. He's going to have to book Sam Hutchinson. Is he a little bit lucky there?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing there. He's not an inexperienced lad. I mean, you'd expect something like that from maybe a 20-year-old. Just there, that's just ridiculous. It's a cheap booking and potentially could have been a red card. Yeah, just stupid. I don't think Darren Moore's going to be too happy.
I am never in the game for getting anyone sent off or anything like that. But Jordan Houghton has done him a favour there by getting out of the way. If he doesn't get out of the way, first of all, he might break his leg, so I don't want him to get in the way. I'm glad he got out of the way. It's not hurt. But had he got caught there, I think he'd have got sent off, Hutchinson.
Yeah, I think, exactly right. That type of player, he's a bit of a man's man, if you like, and he's just got up and got on with it. If it was a different type of player...
Chance here for Wednesday on the edge of the box. It just doesn't quite fall for Sal. He managed to get loose. In the end, he gets a toe on the ball. And it dribbles through to Cooper. Sorry to cut you off, Ryan, but Wednesday had suddenly got themselves forward, but it just petered out. Argyle just managed to smother that chance.
Exactly that. The back three, smothering the ball, mothering that goal, if you like, protecting the goalkeeper. Solid back three. Well, they've got 4 very solid centre-halves now, Plymouth, with Gillespie on the bench also.
Flicked by Jeffcott, tries to get Edwards away, just blocked off. It'll be an Argyle throw. And the cheer in the background is because Ryan Lowe just turned ball boy for a second there to try and retrieve the ball from the back of his own dugout and try and keep this tempo up. Argyle are 1-0 up, but there's no suggestion. Well, first of all, we've got an hour more, way more than an hour to go. So it's not the time to be trying to settle for 1-0, but they want to try and keep this tempo up while it's going. Throw to Hardy. Jeffcott, then Kamara, switches out to Galloway. This is a tough ball for Brendan Galloway. It's coming over his shoulder and bouncing as he runs away from it. But he does well. Grant, a bit casual, knocking it around the corner to Broom. Wednesday think they're going to burst away, but that is too far in front of Silla Sal. And Argyle have it again at the back. Just another quick note on Hutchinson. You know, you said he's not a youngster. He's not. He's 32 now. He started off at Chelsea. He's got that kind of grounding. He's been around a long time. You know, you just wouldn't expect it of him. Thrown by Argyle, thrown to Edwards, all the way through to Hardy, tries to come in field. That's a brilliant bit of defending by Author. What a spot by Joe Edwards, who I'm hoping has not hurt himself. He's put a hand on his back, as if maybe he's just strained something, but he spotted that early, quicker than I did.
Well, Ryan from throw-ins has literally been quick, can we do the throw-ins quick? He had a go at Ryan Hardy earlier for not showing up for a quick throw-in. So it's something he's definitely interested in to keep doing and create that tempo. I think we mentioned Hutchinson just a minute ago. I think he's struggling with the tempo of the game. I think that's recklessness because the tempo of the game's been so fast at the start of it, and he's just got caught in behind there. 32, he doesn't want this type of energy and running in and amongst him.
Yeah, and he's been out as well. He's only played 3 games this season, and he missed out last time. So maybe, you might be right, just not getting quite with the pace. Argyle have a corner. It's from the right. It's taken by Connor Grant. It's a bit of a stramash on the edge of the 6-yard box. Wednesday gets it away. They only get it to the halfway line or so, where Edwards, completely unchallenged, will pick this up. Wednesday had brought everyone back for the corner. Played forward by Edwards, looking for the run of Jeffcott. What a good run it is as well. Diagonally down the left-hand side, and he's got away from Iorfa. Gets, oh no, not quite, he hasn't. Iorfa just recovers. Tries to see the ball out. That didn't work. In the end, it went across the penalty area, and Wednesday survive. Bannon brings it out midway inside his own half. The ball inside him is to wing. Bannon is the one that's just trying to settle this down, turns away from Houghton and then tries to play it over the top towards Gregory. Scar reaching, just about got there. But between Edwards and Kamara, Argyle get it away. Kamara under a bit of pressure centrally, but did really, really well to just get himself loose, and Argyle keep it in their own half. Again, Wednesday pushing right up, not giving Argyle a second, but the Pilgrims keep the ball. Edwards just tries to find Kamara. That was one pass too many. And now down the left comes Marvin Johnson, trying to get outside of Wilson, and manages to. Sow inside the area, tries to get past Scar, blocked off. Corner to Wednesday. There's no let up here, Ryan.
Brilliant game. It's so entertaining to watch. Yeah, Plymouth have just started extremely well, but they have got a threat, Sheffield Wednesday, and they're just, just shown there. Turn the ball over in our final third with their quality. Don't think you can get away with it too many times.
No. There's a corner on the left-hand side now. right-footed in-swinger into the centre of the goal, headed up in the air and away by Dan Scarr. The ball bounces 25 or so yards out and it's well brought down by Johnson. Tries to turn, but Argyle win it back, and now Edwards are a bit too far in front. And actually, it's going to be a Wednesday throw as well.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday certainly don't look comfortable. We see Bannon there having a little bit of a dig. They're starting to dig each other out. They're obviously not happy with how things are going. That's credit to Plymouth. They need to keep this intensity up, though. Ryan's got a strong bench. You can make the subs. You just can't let off the gas.
We're coming up for half an hour played here on Argyle TV. Argyle 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. A goal from Joe Edwards, giving Argyle the lead, and now Hardy tries to make a run. He's offside.
Probably just. It was a tight one.
It's very, very close. We've got a good line on that from where we are, and you could see how he was just trying to angle his run and hold on, but the back line came up and up and up, didn't they? I think in the end he was just about half a yard off. Argyle showing promise again. My theory is even if you have 5 of those, you'll get in on one of them. Good header by Scarr, back to his goalkeeper there.
Really like Galloway, great signing, just looks so composed and calm in his defending, just in control. Like he has got that, you know, that next level in him. To be fair, obviously injuries have certainly not helped him through his career of late.
And there he wins the ball back from Silasau. It falls to Kamara. He returns to the goalkeeper. Just a little bit of hurry up there for Cooper as he was put under a modicum of pressure, but not too much. Bannon tries to pick it up in the centre. Good header from him back to Hunt, and indeed the push in the back on Bannon is deemed enough for the referee to be a free kick. Bannon takes, and he takes it early, gets it round the back for Sal. Galloway comes out to him, wide on the right-hand side. Sal just trying to find enough of a yard to get into the box, and he's done so. Fires it across, great chance at the far post for Johnson. It went by everybody. I think the referee's given a free kick. He certainly indicated Argyle's way. It might be for a throw-in, but I think it's for a foul in the centre. But Sal managed to burst away from Galloway there, got himself a yard, and it was a great ball in.
Yeah, I think Grant could there, just said, they've just shouted over to Grant could have doubled up. He had time to double up with Galloway. Galloway just a little bit isolated as a third centre-half. It's not really what you want in those areas. And there's your threat from Sheffield Wednesday. You know, it's the first time they've got in behind. But yeah, I mean, it's something you have to be wary of, that not to let them in behind us too often, keep them in front of us.
He looks lively, does Sal. It's his first start in English League football. He started Wednesday's last game, which was in the Papa John's Trophy, and indeed he scored in that debut. He's come from Utrecht and Waalwijk in Holland before coming here, so he's got some pedigree in the Eerste Divisie, the second tier in the Netherlands. Looks a lively prospect early on here. He's going to get the ball again from the ball played over the top of him from Byers, but actually it's a little bit too heavy from George Byers, and out for an Argyle throw.
Just starting to settle down the game a little bit now, which going to have to. Can't keep that tempo up through 90 minutes for sure, but Argyle just need to make sure they still have bursts. Once it slows down, right, next 10 minutes, can we get that tempo rised again?
Yeah, it was never going to stay where it was it? It was just an unsustainable tempo, but the good thing is that Argyle scored during that period. Indeed, it was only 6 minutes or so into the game, and Joe Edwards hooked over his head, improvised a finish over the head of Bailey Peacock-Farrell, and gave Argyle the lead that they hold to this moment. But now here come Wednesday again. Palmer to Bannon. Played again to Palmer on the edge of the box, takes the shot. It was laid off to him by Byers, and slightly leaning back, Liam Palmer fired the ball over the bar. It was never a danger for Cooper, but a reasonable position that they worked themselves into, and we'd probably give Wednesday the last 5 minutes or so, wouldn't we? And they've got themselves back into this game and are starting to look a threat.
Yeah, certainly. You're starting to see their quality. You know, that's your right back there, who's link-up play. It's gone into Bannon, and you know, round the corner again, and that fluidity that they have is, like I said, it's both teams. It's such an enjoyable game. Both teams have lots of quality, so you can't deny Sheffield Wednesday. They're going to certainly have chances, that's for sure. It's just hopefully from that distance and not along the 6-yard line.
We mentioned earlier on about Argyle's options off the bench, but if it's not going right for Wednesday later on, I'll break off from that because the ball over the top looking for Hardy, didn't quite get there, heads back to the goalkeeper. But yes, the bench for Wednesday has the likes of Olamide Shadipo, who's on loan from QPR, Saido Berahino, a well-known name from years ago in the Premier League. It's an outrageous piece of skill from Kamara, keeps hold of the ball. In the end, he's going to foul Gregory, trying to get the ball back a second time. Callum Patterson was the other sub I was going to mention from a Wednesday perspective, an international player, so there's lots of ability for Wednesday if they need it. But let's focus on our own ability. First of all, great bit of skill from Kamara. In the end, a bit too eager to win the ball back and fouled Gregory, but
good foul though. You either win the ball back or it's a foul. Good position to foul. He's just so athletic and invaluable, like I said, to the way Ryan's teams want to play out of possession. His reactions to transition are just frightening.
Palmer plays the ball over the top and out to it goes into Cooper, but he's bowled the ball out because Joe Edwards has gone to the deck. I was concerned when Edwards took that throw in. How long ago was that? About 10 minutes or so, when he slung that throw in forwards to Ryan Hardy. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I noticed on the back of that he just reached a couple of arms around the back of his ribs into his back area that I thought he was in a bit of distress, although the physio looks to be just checking out his right leg at the moment, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what's up with Joe. I suppose that could still be a lower back thing and just stretching him out. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping the skipper's okay here.
What's happened? His back's tightened up, and now it looks like it's obviously your back tightens up, so does your front hip flexor, and it affects your quad. That's what. There we go. Like our experience arm and injuries. But yeah, it looks like that's what's happened, and he might just be starting to feel his front thigh, his hip flexor, because of his back, maybe.
Just having a look to. Sometimes you get some signals on the Argyle bench to one another about whether or not there's going to be a sub or not. I don't think so at the moment. Doesn't look imminent. I'd say Jordan Garrick might be favourite if Joe Edwards had to come off.
Certainly had an impact last game, didn't he? Different type of player for sure, but
he did.
The game's so open, it'd be a good game for him as well.
That, I guess, was coming on and trying to get a winner for Argyle, wasn't it? At that point, he hit the crossbar, of course, and played in that position in the Papa John's Trophy as well. This would be a different prospect.
Yeah, Ryan's so measured, and the way his teams are, he ain't going to want to lose Joe at this moment in time in the game, because Joe's vital in that balance. He's certainly a great team player, and the stuff that he does goes unnoticed.
He's back on and playing on for now. Fingers crossed he's fine. He's on the ball at the moment, and he clips it forward left-footed into a channel towards Jeffcott. It's not a bad idea, but it was a slightly heavy, and is picked up by Peacock Farrell. We've played 37 minutes of this first half here at Home Park Stadium. It's Argyle 1, Wednesday 0. Two teams recognisable by just their surnames. Just their surnames? It's not a surname, is it? Their suffixes, that's what I'm trying to say. But it's Argyle that have the better of that so far. Iorfa into Bannon, who certainly is the man that is trying to get on the ball as much as he can for Wednesday. He's going to be their pivot, their fulcrum, their creator. And he gets it into Gregory with a really nice ball. Wing, there's players to his left as well. One of them is this man, Marvin Johnson. Gets his cross in, there's players arriving. That was a vital header by Scar. Helped on by Connor Grant. Broom tries to get it away and is blocked off as well. Chance on the right hand side. Bannon again comes in field. Has to spin through more than 360 degrees and eventually turns back once more. He's patient and in the end finds Hunt on the right hand side. Can he get beyond Grant? Tries to, blocked off. Grant does the job really well there. Stop the cross and then clears it away.
Yeah, Plymouth under a little bit of pressure, just gone into a back five. Obviously that's just been forced by the way now Sheffield Wednesday are playing, but yeah, I don't think they're possessing too much of a threat. Sheffield Wednesday, here we go, counter.
Got the ball back here, the ball was rather cannoned off of Jeffcott, and now Kamara bursts forward, plays it through to Hardy. Oh, he's given a free kick.
Oh my God.
Ryan Hardy was basically through. He had Hutchinson with him. He was approaching the edge of the penalty area, and the referee gave the free kick on Benucci Kamara. I think it's been quite noticeable in this game so far that Ben Speedy has let the referee has let the game go 2 or 3 times, and at least once where I thought he could have stopped it. This time he stopped it and he could have let it go.
He's trying to explain it, but I don't know what he's trying to explain. Hardy there's left 1v1 in the box with a 32-year-old. I mean, Ryan, yeah, he's got to be ripping his hair out, Ryan Lola, on the touchline. What is... I don't know why he's pulled that back, if I'm honest. It's ridiculous.
With a yellow card shown, I think it was George Byers. I'll get that confirmed for you, but it looked to be Byers to me that was fouled there. Sorry, but that was booked there, I beg your pardon, for the foul. Well, the best way of banishing that little negative memory from an Argyle perspective is to score here, I suppose. There'll be no...
Yeah, it's a strange one, because it's still far distance, this. It isn't... What's this, 30 yards?
Oh, at least. Well, look where the wall is. If the wall is 10, then that's still another... No, 5, 6, 7 yards from the edge of the box, isn't it? So it's at least 35. Clipped in by Grant.
Goal.
And scores! Dan Starr turns up at the far post. And we won't be talking about that referee decision anymore, because Argyle have scored the goal. And all the way through this season, Dan Starr has threatened to come from the back and get on the end of something. It's taken him until game number 6 in the league, and he turns up at the far post, guides the ball home with his instep, and Argyle have their second goal ever so slightly against the run of play. Wednesday have been having a good period, but Argyle from a free kick that in the first place they didn't want, and now very, very grateful. Dan Starr scores, Argyle 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Absolutely outstanding ball that from Conor Grant. That's his quality, that's why he's in the team, that left foot. And that's why we try to feed him the ball as much as we possibly can. But it's been coming. I mean, from set plays, I think the goalkeeper maybe could have done a little bit better. But I mean, it's been such an entertaining game, and the way the game's being played, it certainly suits Plymouth.
I offer with the ball, and now on the right-hand side, Hunt as Wednesday try and just gather themselves. Argyle have scored 6 minutes after the start, and then around about 6 minutes before half-time. Talk about your timings, get one early and get one before half-time. Now I suppose it's just a case of, now they will sit in a little bit and just get to half-time. We've got 3.5 plus whatever's going to be added on. Exactly. Wednesday will want a reaction.
This is, been through it loads and loads of time. Get to half-time, have to get to half-time. Do not concede. It's easy saying that and actually doing it though.
Yeah, they're going to go through the practice. Here's Bannon on the right-hand side. Can he get himself into a position to cross? He's gone with a cheeky back heel towards Hunt, and it's come off as well. Jack Hunt comes in, gets past Grant just about. Galloway mops up, and it's a goal kick. Ball came back off of Hunt as he tried to come in field. Conor Grant and Brendan Galloway, the Evertonian connection, just with a little clap of hands there. Yeah. Earlier on, Galloway got a bit exposed, and you said that Grant should have come and helped him. That time they doubled up.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. This time it works out. Two capable, experienced players. And when they work together, you see what happens. I think they just need to, you know, now they're 2 up. That needs to happen more.
It's going to be Cooper to take the goal kick. Grant down the left-hand side, looking for Hardy. Can he just about get there in front of the goalkeeper, who's left it for a goal kick? It's gone out of play. It's going to be a goal kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Listen to the Green Army. They're enjoying their afternoon, and why wouldn't they? Their team leads by 2-0. And it is a good game, although they wouldn't mind if it's the worst game in the world if you're 2-0 up, but it is a nice little bonus that it's entertaining, and 2 goals for the Pilgrims. I might leave it till the second half to stray into cliche territory about the what 2-0's all about, but we'll get there eventually. Hopefully it will be that at half-time. 2 minutes just under to go until the break, plus whatever is added on. Cooper again, he might have to go long this time. No real options from the back. Headed forward by Palmer, on by Wilson, and then into, well, they have to go back again, Wednesday. Kamara again, you're saying?
Yeah, Kamara again, his energy is outstanding, high press.
Hutchinson gets it back from Byers, and the central defender for Sheffield Wednesday just brings it out a little towards the halfway line. In towards Sal, who's turning up a little bit more in-field. Sheffield Wednesday maybe just having a bit of a reshuffle, trying to get themselves something before the break. Argyle have noticeably just sat off a little bit since that second goal, probably just to make sure they get themselves into that half-time interval with the 2 goals intact. A little bit of a battle going on between Galloway and Hunt, who's straight forward. Free kick given, no, and it goes Argyle's way for that little battle. And it just seems to be that the Pilgrims, Ryan, are just winning a lot of little individual battles at the moment, and that is accumulating to the bigger than the sum of its parts, as it were.
Yeah, I think the back three have had a really good first half, stepping in, being competitive. And it's a game of individual battles throughout the pitch. In the middle of the pitch, Kamara and Houghton have been outstanding, especially where they're going to have to with the quality of Bannon in there. So, no, it's a game which they've won their individual battles, and they're going to need much more of it the second half.
Well, that half-time break is going to be at least 3 minutes away. 3 minutes signalled by the 4th official. We have had a stoppage to Edwards and a couple of goals, I suppose. But Argyle will be grateful to hear that half-time whistle and to go into it with a 2-goal advantage. Here's Hardy knocking it down towards Grant. Clips forward, Hutchison heads clear. Broom brings it down. It's been a bit quiet, actually, Ryan Broom. He's not been in the game tons, but he's always a threat. Now he's got the ball back with the 1-2 from Connor Grant. Gets outside Broom, left-footed cross, nicely done as well. Oh, Jeff Clark, it was a great chance. He headed it up in the air, and the second time he heads it, it'll be easily grabbed by the goalkeeper. All I can think there, Ryan Dixon, is that he just either lost it in the flight or just didn't think it was going to get to him, because that's a header, what, 5-6 yards out?
Yeah, I think he's just in there too early. He's arrived too early, so then as he's gone to head it, he's stood still and the ball's just dropped over the defender's head. He can't see the line of the ball. Just needs to delay his run a little bit more. But well, you just literally said Brooms hasn't been in the game. That's what we said earlier. Get him in the game as much as we possibly can, because he's such a talented lad.
He's got it again. Now he's going to shoot from distance. How much talent? Not quite that much. He was about 30 yards out. I thought we were going to time that one perfectly. That was going to be a clip for the ages as he stuck it in the top corner. As it was, it drifts behind for a goal kick. But he is that kind of player, though, Ryan Broom. He hasn't been in the first half that much, but you don't want to give him too much time. He can create something out of nothing.
Yeah, he just shows up when he needs to. His work rate off the ball has been outstanding. He's been the guy pressing there, CDM if you like. So he hasn't received the ball in deeper areas as much as what he would have liked. But he's been showing up in pockets on transition. So yeah, we need to get him on the ball as much as we possibly can, really. But it's easier said than done.
Wing into Bannon. Now the third of the trio in midfield for Wednesday is Byers. Bannon again, just trying to get himself in position. It's going to fall for Kamara, and he brings it out nicely. Was fouled as the ball went away actually there, but I think the referee spotted it. Kamara stayed down. Grant, Broom, and then Broom again down the left-hand side. Lovely interchange between Broom and Grant once more. Can he get himself away from Bannon, Ryan Broom? Into Jeffcott's feet, edge of the box. Lays it backwards to Houghton. Urged to shoot by the home park crowd. Did so. Pulled it wide. Well, that shows the confidence of not only Jordan Houghton, but the Green Army that were they wanted a bit more magic there just before half-time.
Sheffield Wednesday just look demoralised. They're having a go at each other. They're not too sure what's going on. They need half-time, Sheffield Wednesday. Plymouth at the moment, the last thing they want is half-time. They're playing so well. They just look so organised, so composed, so assured in their play. It's been a really good performance.
There is the half-time. I can hear boos inside home park, but they must be coming from the away end, because everyone on three sides of the ground in green and white are on their feet applauding and cheering, because that was a fantastic first half for Plymouth Argyle. It was a pretty good one to watch as well, but in terms of the outcome, it's 2-0 to the Pilgrims. A goal by Joe Edwards after goalkeeper Bailey Peacock-Farrell had dropped a Connor Grant cross from the left-hand side. Edwards there to flick it over his head, over the goalkeeper's head, and into the net. That got us off to a great start, and just as we thought that Wednesday might be coming into this game a little more, Argyle got a free kick. They didn't want it at the time because they thought Ryan Hardy might have been in, but once they did get it, it was another Grant cross. It found Dan Scarr, and he guided the ball in at the far post to give Argyle a 2-goal lead Ryan Dixon is alongside me. Ryan, is there anything to nitpick about that first half? It was about as good as it can get, wasn't it?
Exactly right. I think Ryan Lowe would have been literally crying out to showcase what his team can do for this type of game, and you know, it's just worked out perfectly. Like the last few games, obviously at home, teams have sat in. It's been really hard for them to showcase their quality and the style of play Ryan wants to play. Today, it has just worked out perfectly for him. But saying that, 45 minutes left to go.
Stay with us, everybody, because there's plenty to come during half-time and indeed the second half ahead. But for me, for the time being, it's Plymouth Argyle 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Thank you very much, Rob. Yeah, what a fantastic first half we've had here at Home Park today. The sun is out, Argyle are 2-0 ahead, and we have been compiling some of the highlights from the first 45 minutes. So let's take a look at them, and most importantly, let's take a look back at those two fantastic goals. Some great chances for Argyle there in the first half, 2 of which came to fruition, putting Argyle 2-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday at half-time, thanks to captain Joe Edwards and Dan Scarr. Now let's break away from the excitement of today for a second and cast our minds back to Graham Coughlin, who caught up with Charlie Price this week on the Argyle podcast, and the pair spoke about a range of things, including the promotion-winning team from 2001 and 2002.
Left for Watton to drive the corner in. Gilks came for it, and it's been turned in at the far post. It's Graham Coughlin.
I want to start off, Cocker, if I can. It's a question that I think needs answering. All right. Did you have a goal bonus that season when you finished top scorer back in, when was it, 2002? Were you on a goal bonus for that?
No.
Robbed, then, is all I'm going to say.
Well, listen, some people were very good at negotiating. I wasn't. And let's be honest, Argyle at that time wasn't a club that was flush with finances and bonus schemes and things like that. So I don't believe any of us had anything like that in our contracts. I think we all had basic contracts, and a basic contract is an appearance and a weekly wage. If others had one or two other things in the contract, that was brilliant and fair play to them. But no, I never had anything. I was always just plain, ordinary and basic me.
You made a fair mint that season, though, I think, with you 12 goals from centre back. If you were on fantasy football as well, which I don't know whether you play the fantasy league stuff that you can pick players and you get points, you would have earned a lot of points that year as well as a defender scoring 12 goals. You'd have made a lot of people very happy.
I just found myself in the right place at the right time 12 times. You gotta credit your teammates. You gotta credit the service. You gotta credit the delivery and the players that was around and about you, because there must have obviously been quality around and about me to provide for me. So fair play to the lads. So, and like I say, and I think every Argyle fan will tell you, it was a team, it was a club, and it was a coming together for the 4 or 5 years I was down there. It was just unbelievable how everything just came off for us, and how the club grew, because it was really in the doldrums a little bit. And we picked it up, we ran along with it, and we've done I believe personally, I think we've done a great job.
So promotion in your first season, wasn't it, when you joined, and then a second promotion 2 years later?
Yes.
That's it. That's an impact, Cocker.
Yeah, well, that's what I went for. I wasn't going just to make up numbers. I wasn't travelling from one end of the country to the other. I wasn't dragging my missus down away from home and family and all that just to make up the numbers, or just to go down to Barbican and have a pint with fans. I was going down to make an impact, and Paul Sturrock knew that. And at times it didn't always go my way. I had some bad games, made 1 or 2 errors and things like that. But I had good people around me, good teammates, good coaching staff, and a tremendous staff in the background at the club, who were special people as well. And I think when a club comes together like that, it is a recipe for success. Everybody has to be singing and dancing on one hymn sheet and dancing on the one stage. So it was brilliant. You know, Paul Sturrock chucked days out, and the players weren't invited. He chucked days out, brought the media out on occasion, and brought everybody from the club out on other occasions. Even took all the girls out, the wives and the girls, and left the lads behind. So he was a master. He was a master. He was a genius at bringing people together. He was a genius at getting a club working and pulling in the one direction, and he done that. And lo and behold, we were successful on the back of it.
It was one of those squads, wasn't it? I mean, you're not always going to get on well with everybody, and that's always the case, especially in kind of dressing rooms with big characters. But Luggy must have done something to get you guys playing the way you did and working together the way you did.
Look, we like to tear up. We like to tear up, and I've said this, and I've carried this is. You know, through the years when I've gone into my playing career and my coaching career, my managing career, you bump into teams and people and personnel that you played against. And the one thing people always say to me was, we couldn't outplay you, we couldn't outrun you, and nor could we outfight you. He says, so we ticked all the boxes. There was times even in the tunnel. I remember with Luton, Big Mick Harford, great lad. Get on great with Mick, and we tell some stories. Mick tells some great stories. Kev Nichols, Big Stevie Howard, you know, they were wanting to have it in the tunnel, and they were probably wanting to stare us down and intimidate us a bit. But we weren't for having that, and nobody could intimidate us. Nobody could bully us. And if they wanted to play football, we could play them. If they wanted to have a running match, we'd run them. And if they wanted to fight us, we'd fight them. So it wasn't, and I don't mean physical. Let's keep a lid on that. Don't get me into any trouble.
Not all the time, mate.
We could do anything that was asked of us. Most of the time, yes. Sometimes we didn't. I think we were beat 5 or 6 times that season, and that was it. But we had some good characters, with some good men, with a strong dressing room, with some good young players coming through as well. So we had a great blend, a real good mix, and we had a common goal. We were targets. We had our own targets. We knew what we wanted to individually and collectively, and there was very, very little going to get in our way and stop us.
And you can listen to all of that on any of your podcast providers or over on pafc.co.uk, as well as any of the Argyle podcasts that we've already recorded so far. Now, let's take a quick look at some of your social media tweets that we've had through so far. Minus, which is at TwinkleStar203 on Twitter, says, a great display so far. Let's see it out, Greens. Neil Gallagher saying the Argyle TV live stream coverage has turned into something really quite impressive. Thank you very much, Neil. There's been quite a few pictures of Ryan Lowe on a golf buggy. Not fully sure what that means, but it seems positive regardless. There was somebody tweeting that they are stuck at home with their son, who's unfortunately got COVID and haven't been able to see that great Joe Edwards goal. Well, it should be subscribed to Argyle TV, then you would have been able to catch it. Generally, the mood on social media seems to be absolutely fantastic. Lots of green heart, lots of support for Plymouth Argyle, and we are at about 13,500 here in the stadium. Teams are now coming out onto the pitch, so very quickly let's just run you through the other scores from around the League One fixtures. And I've got them right here in front of me. So before I hand back to Rob and Ryan, the scores elsewhere today are Rotherham 2, Fleetwood 1, Plymouth Argyle 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Cambridge United 0, Lincoln City 3, Oxford United 0, Wickham 0, Burton 0, Gillingham 1, Shrewsbury 1, Crewe Alexandra 1, Sunderland 1, Accrington Stanley 1, Morecambe 0, AFC Wimbledon 1, Wigan Athletic 1, Doncaster 1, Ipswich Town 2, Bolton 3, and MK Dons 0, Portsmouth 0. Let's get back to the action here at Home Park though, where Argyle lead Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. Hopefully we can have some more goals throughout the rest of the afternoon. Rob, Ryan, over to you. Take it away.
Both teams back out on the field then for the second period, and there's going to be a change early from Sheffield Wednesday. That probably says a great deal about how that first half went for Argyle, for Wednesday I should say. And they have brought on Saido Berahino. Have they? No, they haven't. They brought on Olamido Shadipo, have they? It's Shadipo,
number 7, yeah.
Shadipo that's coming on. And off went Jack Hunt. So that was a...
Was it Oxford last year on loan, is it?
Yeah,
Shadipo, I think.
It is. It look, well, I'm not sure about the numbers here because that looks like I thought it was Berahino coming on, but we'll have a look in just a second. Either way, there's been a bit of a reshuffle. Sheffield Wednesday have moved Palmer to right back, who was playing left back in the first half, and I think Johnson will drop in and play left back, which is where he played last week, and amongst all of these changes. And if it is Shadipo, he's gone out onto the left flank for Wednesday. So quite a lot of changes early in this second half for the visitors. That says a lot, Ryan Dixon, about just how they feel about how they went in the first half.
Yeah, I think they've had a little change of personnel, but it doesn't look like they've changed their formation. Might change the way they play a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. But they certainly need a bit of a response, because it's, I mean, to match Argyle's performance first half was certainly not the case.
Free kick from the right-hand side for Wednesday, swung in by Bannon. It's around about the penalty spot. It's allowed to bounce at the far post, which is a bit of a cardinal sin defensively, but fortunately for Argyle it bounced and went out of play. I think that was a better delivery than his attackers helped him with there from Bannon.
He's an outstanding player, what a ball that is. But one thing Argyle have done is just match the run of the attacking players and use their bodies, good body contact, so no one can get on the end of it. Sometimes you can leave them if you've got that body contact, but you have to make sure that you're blocking the attacker's run.
Cooper to take a goal kick for Argyle. If you are just joining us a little bit later on today, Argyle 2-0 up from a first half performance that was very comprehensive. Goals from Joe Edwards and from Dan Scarr, two brand new scorers for this season. But here's a man who's got plenty. Ryan Hardy down the right hand side gets the cross in low to the near post. It was blocked at the near post by the goalkeeper, who gathers it into his hands.
Really like the quick throws. Obviously seeing the manager Ryan Lowe encourage it through the first half as much as he possibly can, and there, caught him on the heels again with a quick throw from Joe Edwards, and Ryan Hardy just a little bit more quality with that ball, and could have been a third for Plymouth.
I mentioned it in the first half. I'm going to have to mention it now, and I am straying into cliche territory, but people always talk about 2-0 being that sort of tricky sort of lead as Hardy just knocks it forward towards Jeffcott, but Wednesday deal with it. I think it's because if Sheffield Wednesday get the goal, and the next goal, if there is a next goal, it changes the momentum of the game so much, doesn't it? I think that's the point now, is if there's a third goal, if Argyle get it, it's almost game over. If Wednesday get it, it's very much game on.
No two halves are the same, and that's the cliche, if you like it. But it is so true. No two halves are ever the same. So like you just said, if Sheffield Wednesday score early, it does completely change the dynamics, if you like, of the game going forward. So Plymouth is vital for them these next 10 minutes, just to keep it at 2-0 and then start controlling the game again.
Iorfa has it at the back for Wednesday, under a bit of pressure from Jeffcott, has to return it to the goalkeeper. Hutchison takes it short. Argyle happy to let Wednesday have it to a degree, and then just trying to shut it down at the right time. Still in the penalty area from Wednesday. Hutchison brings it out and uses wing. Here's Bannon. Spreads it left to Johnson, who's had to drop into left back. No one in front of him. Cooper comes out and clears high, but it goes out into the Lyndhurst stand. They do have plenty of players, Sheffield Wednesday, who are adaptable. We've mentioned him a couple of times already, Marvin Johnson, but brought as a winger, started today as a winger, but has now gone to left back. Palmer, who played centre back last time, started this game at left back, is now at right back. I remember seeing him play in midfield as well. So they've got lots of players that can be flexible, but they're going to have to be, aren't they? Because they've had to change a lot of things, and it should take them a minute or two to get themselves bedded in, I would have thought.
They're two down, so they need that athleticism at full-back, and that's why I think he's done it. Johnson's obviously an attacking full-back with loads of athleticism, and so is Palmer. So you'll certainly see a Sheffield Wednesday team now just straight on the front foot, which they're doing. They're just overloading in higher areas a lot more than what they were first half.
Shadipo comes in field, just about gets away from Kamara. Chance to shoot from distance here from wing. It was blocked. The groans across Argyle can't quite get it clear. Chance again from distance for Shadipo, but that's over the bar by some distance.
Yeah, don't mind that. Let him shoot from distance. I can't imagine the form that Cooper's in at the moment troubling him too much. But yeah, look, you see that their fullbacks are really high and wide. They're just going to now leave their two centre-halves exposed at the back to defend alone against our two strikers, which with half of the pitch to play in is, I mean, for the likes of Hardy and Jeffcott, it's a bit of a dream situation, really.
I think they'll enjoy it, won't they? Here's Edwards winning the ball back for Argyle. Houghton under some pressure, swings the ball round, more in hope than anything else. Nearly got Jeffcott away. Iorfa in the end covers, and then Palmer back to his goalie. Shadipo beaten to the ball by a good piece of defending from Wilson, and then down the right-hand side. Broom has turned up on the right now. Can he cross? Whips it into the near post over Hardy, didn't quite reach Jeffcott. Edwards picks up the loose one, about 35 yards out. Switches wings, finds Grant, who chests it down. Comes infield into the centre. Swept away long and high from Lewis Wing. All the way through to Cooper at the other end.
I'm not too sure about Johnson, Sheffield Wednesday's left back. He's obviously going to be an attacking threat, but defensively, to me, does not look interested in defending. Brooms can make that 8 running behind him as much as possible. I think it's certainly a weak channel that we can exploit.
Kamara into Jeffcott, headed back to Kamara again. Lots of space. Hardy would have strayed offside, which is why Kamara didn't play it. Now he plays it. Iorfa just about gets there and scrambles it behind. You could see the ball Panucci Kamara wanted to play, and he just couldn't, could he? Because Ryan Hardy just swayed straight beyond the back line.
Yeah, fine margins, that timing, and that's, yeah, literally that timing between them. You want to play it, and you just know it's not quite right. Good play again, though, by Argyle.
Corner from the right flank, Connor Grant to take. Left foot, far post. Wilson's coming in on it. I think it was a foul. It is a foul. Wilson stayed down holding his face, but I think he did rather hold on to Sam Hutchison at the far post. It'll be a free kick to Wednesday.
God, it's an outstanding ball. Outstanding ball. I think it's gone over maybe Hardy and someone else's head. And yeah, the timing, to be fair, the defenders done extremely well to track James Wilson's run there. But fine margins of football. Looked to me like a certain goal. Good defending from the defender.
Connor Grant's cross for the first goal that was spilt by the goalkeeper. His free kick for the second goal that was scored by Dan Scarr. He seems to be in the mood today, Connor, with his deliveries, and that was a very, very well delivered corner in as well.
You can't ask for a better ball. Right along the 6-yard line, perfect weight, just crying out to be attacked.
Goal kick to Wednesday. Peacock Farrell, the Northern Ireland international, with a long ball. Flag was up. Lee Gregory offside. I think there's one or two Wednesday players just wondering how he can be offside. I think in their head it was a goal kick as opposed to a free kick. There is a difference in terms of offside. Gregory had strayed. I think he possibly did it on purpose, thinking it was a goal kick. But Argyle now with their own free kick finds Hardy. Good covering by Wing. He knocks it back to the goalkeeper, who spreads it out. Now Wilson just took that bang in the face. He's now just taken a little push in the back as Lee Gregory not having the best 30 seconds or so, giving away a couple of free kicks for different reasons. He's an interesting one, Lee Gregory, in terms of Argyle. He's played against Argyle twice. He scored 5 goals. He scored 4 for Millwall in a 5-3 game a few years ago in the Trophy. Remember that amazing Graham Carey goal that was in that game as Argyle went down 5-3. And then in the Carabao Cup about 3 or 4 seasons ago, in the 3-2 at the Den, he got a goal that day as well. So he likes playing against Plymouth Argyle, this Lee Gregory. 5 in 2 is some ratio. Yeah. He's not had a sniff today so far.
Yeah, keep it that way. I think Millwall suits him more. It's a hustle bustle, more direct football. I can see how he gets chances. It just looks frustrated for me today. A lot of the plays with him with his back to goal, which isn't him. He's usually a running behind type of player, if you like.
Yeah, the good ratio when he was at Millwall, 77 in just over 200 games. Didn't really work for him at Stoke. He scored 2 in 4 so far for Wednesday. Here goes Broom down the left-hand side, gets inside the area, he's pulled back. It was outside. There's a few Argyle fans screaming for a pen. There's a few wanting a card as well, and they're going to get that card. Shown, I think, to Sale, was it, that they just pulled Broom back. He got between 2 there, didn't he, Ryan Broom, nipping inside and winning a free kick. It was just outside the area. but it's still a very, very dangerous place to deliver from.
Shrewd foul if he's inside on that right foot of his. Yeah, it was only going one way, and that's that towards that far corner. So shrewd foul from Sheffield Wednesday, but certainly a dangerous area here for Plymouth, especially with the mood that Connor Grant's in at the moment.
Grant, you think his favourite with his left foot. It's on the left flank, a little teasing out swinger to the far post. You can see Scar just hovering. I think he's going to spin round the back and join Hardy as the deepest one. It could be Houghton, though. He could fire this at the far post and just hope for a touch. Two very good options for Argyle. It's Houghton. Fizzes it low. Cleared away. I think he was trying to catch Wednesday out with the low delivery. If anything, he caught his own players out because no one was making that run. And possibly a chance slightly wasted, but Argyle do have a throw-in on the left side. Grant's cross-blocked and it leads to another throw-in. There's no sign, Ryan Dixon, of Argyle really sitting off on their 2-0 lead. They won that third goal.
Exactly that. I think that's the way Argyle have to play as well.
Jeffcott wriggles into the area. They can't touch him. Plays it across the centre. Oh, how has that stayed out? It hit Sam Hutchinson's foot. It just spooned up in the air and it's ended up resting on the roof of the net on the wrong side. Jeffcott just spun, and there was just two players around him. They literally held their hands up, didn't they? They couldn't touch him. They knew it would be a pen. He dribbled the ball across in a great way across the 6-yard area, and it literally just hit the foot of Sam Hutchinson, spun up in the air. On another day, that rolls in, and it is the third goal. Argyle corner. Grant clipped to the far post, looking for Scar. This time the goalkeeper has come out and claimed it.
Yeah, that'll go down as one of the best clearances you're likely to see. How that's just happened, I'll never know. I don't even think Hutchins would even know.
I don't think he meant it. I think he got very fortunate. Argyle could get the ball back here from Jeffcott. It's in the end picked up by Shadipo. Just to confirm, by the way, Sal was booked for that foul on Broom, and I think I mentioned in the first half that I was going to get clarification on Byers getting booked, and that was indeed the case. George Byers was cautioned in the first period. So that's 3 bookings for Wednesday, none for Argyle.
So brave Plymouth high press here. That's the disadvantage.
Down the flank goes Sal, getting beyond Galloway, who looks around for some help. Sal squares him up, gets the cross in, the touch of the near post from Shadipo, and it's wide. It wasn't very far wide.
I think it's the first time, Rob, that I think we've really seen Sheffield Wednesday get beyond Argyle's high press. That is the disadvantage, obviously, because you do leave yourself 1v1 in wider areas higher up the pitch, and they're obviously going to have quality to exposure. But to Ryan, it's such a brave way of playing, and he obviously trusts his defenders now to be in that situation.
2 subs for Sheffield Wednesday on top of the one they've already made, so we're very, very early in this second period for a completion of all 3 substitutes, but that's what they've done. On comes Theo Corbianu and also Saido Berahino. They're the 2 changes off George Byers and Silla Sal, 2 of the players we just mentioned who have been booked. Just as we give you those updates, they get the hook. I'll tell you a little bit about those 2 substitutes in a minute, but Argyle go forward towards Hardy, beaten in the air by Hutchinson. Hardy at the second attempt had a really good hook to his right, out towards Edwards, who just can't quite control on this very, very bouncy pitch it seems today, extra than normal. Just took a bounce and over Joe Edwards' head. Those 2 substitutes, Theo Corbianu is on loan from Wolverhampton. He has only played 24 minutes for Wednesday so far. Excuse me. Just 24 minutes so far. He is a forward. He's a Canadian international, only 19. You're probably a little bit more familiar with Berahino, who's still amazingly only 28. Is the forward who made his name at West Brom, once scored 20 in a season, including 14 Premier League goals in 2014-15. A couple of years later he went to Stoke for 12 million quid, so he's had some pedigree, and as I said, only still 28. This is his debut. He spent a couple of years playing in Belgium for Zulte Waregem and Charleroi. He's clearly got that experience and that ability, and here he's latching onto the end of a ball through from Bannon, but Argyle sweep up from Connor Grant and he gets it away. Broom down the line, was caught late by Bannon. It'll be another free kick to the Pilgrims. What can Berahino bring to the equation here, do you think?
Well, it's hard to say. Obviously, not so long ago, I guess. He was obviously effective and an extremely talented lad. What he still possesses, I'm not too sure. He's obviously drifted a little bit. Lad full of talent, can obviously score goals, can affect games. Whether he can do that consistently, I'm not too sure anymore. In terms of Bannon, though, you can see he's getting frustrated. He hasn't had a kick this half, Bannon, and you see he's seriously starting to lose patience with the game.
He's just dropped a bit deeper, hasn't he, since those substitutes, Barry Bannon. He's now sitting in a bit of a 2 in midfield with Wing. As Jeffcott gets it down the left-hand side, surely hauled down. How's that not a free kick? The ball's going to roll out for a goal kick. Okay, I'm showing my green bias then, but was that not a free kick by the defender? You're going to say no, aren't you?
I am going to say no.
As a
fullback, yeah, that happens to me a lot. Pin you, and you're not pulling them, they're leaning into you and they lean down.
I'm the fan, you're the footballer. We'll go with your version on that one. I'm allowing myself to get too involved there. Here's a chance off the left-hand side for Wednesday. I think the flag might have gone up against Berahino had he kept hold of it, but in the end the ball has gone through to Cooper, who clears. Bouncing around the midfield, picked up by Broom. Hard one to get under control, but do so he has, and come to the left for Grant. 1-2 with Jeffcott, then an early ball for a great run across by Kamara. Good covering by Hutchinson. Plays it off of Kamara and out for a throw-in. But that's the kind of run you were talking about earlier on from Argyle's midfield. Kamara just bursting into an area, hard to defend, although Hutchinson did stand up to that one.
I think forward runs from Kamara and Broom at the right times are certainly going to cause them problems just in behind their fullbacks. Their fullbacks are just pushing high. The left-sided fullback for me does not look like he wants to be a defender. So on the counter, it could be certainly an option for Plymouth to get a third.
Broom wins a tackle in midfield, just sees off a potential attack from the substitute Corbianu. The system that they've essentially gone to now Wednesday. Gregory staying up front. Berahino is not quite a strike partner, but he's not that much of a 10 either. He's essentially just a bit of a support striker with Corbianu and Shadipo either side. It's almost 4-2-4 as they're throwing everything forward. Here is Corbianu, shot from distance. That's never troubling Mike Cooper. The theory is you let them shoot from there all day.
Exactly it. I think, yeah, numbers beyond the ball, let them shoot from distance. A little bit rash from the lad there. I don't think, Darren Moore's too happy about it, the Sheffield Wednesday manager. Just frustration kicking in from Sheffield Wednesday. They're not having a sniff. They're not really getting a foothold in the game, which is just credit to Plymouth. They've been absolutely outstanding in and out of possession. They just look like such a well-organised unit, if you like, in terms of knowing what they're doing, but it's entertaining, they're not boring.
There's a couple of thousand Sheffield Wednesday fans inside the ground today, and they're trying to sing their men on to a result. They won't want to see 2 straight away defeats, but at the moment they've got an uphill struggle to deal with. They do have the ball with Aorfa at the back. I did have an official attendance earlier on, which I'll find for you in a sec. There we go, 13,448 is the crowd, with 1,955 in the away end. It's a great crowd inside Home Park, and they've made some noise as well, both sets of supporters. They've been treated to a good game, but it's the just under 11,000 or so Argyle fans that are by far the happier. Gregory gets to a ball before Scarp, but it goes out of play, and it's an Argyle throw. Been asked to do it at both ends, Dan Scarp. Got his goal earlier on, gets himself on the score sheet, but it's those bits, those moments that he's there. That's where he's going to earn his corn.
I think the back three in general, defensively, have been outstanding. I mean, they've been left obviously on a high press, 1v1 at the back at times, and they've just dealt with it. Really, really encouraging performance from all 3 of them.
Another tussle between Palmer and Jeffcott is allowed to go by the referee. Throw in eventually to Wednesday on the halfway line. Moved away to the left-hand side for Wednesday, into the feet of Gregory, coming from the back and allowed to stride forward there for a second was Wing, and now it's been shifted to Shadipo. Can he get beyond Edwards? An Argyle player's gone down on the edge of the box. Shadipo's cross is going to go out for a goal kick. I didn't see what happened. Trying to work it. I think it's Houghton that's down. Did you see anything?
No, I'm not too sure what's happened there. Whether he's just took a knock off the ball in his face. He's holding his face, so yeah, probably an arm. I would have thought as someone's making a run into the box, he's just caught him off the ball.
Those of you watching internationally on Argyle TV may well get a better view of that than us. We're actually not getting replays in the press box today, so It's not quite sure what went on there, but
yeah, he's
Jordan Howell's just indicating with his right arm, isn't he? He's saying he got a smack with the arm. I think you generally find that it's two players competing, isn't it, for who's going to get ahead and an arm gets swung.
Again, I think it's that frustration from Sheffield Wednesday. They're not having a sniff. They've had very little final third entries in terms of entering our box, which is credit to Plymouth. And you're just starting to see that their frustration kicking in. I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets sent off in this game.
I still think Hutchison was a lucky boy in the first half for diving in at Jordan Houghton the way he did. Here's a free kick from Argyle, goal kick I should say, from Argyle from the back towards Hardy. Doesn't quite find its target. Edwards now in with the tackle on Johnson, who stayed down. Referee not giving a free kick. Johnson is still down. Argyle still have the ball. Jeffcott's worked himself to the right. Hardy would be the target. Grant on the far post, but it's too heavy and out for a goal kick. But Jeffcott is not really known for his crossing. He wants to be on the end of those crosses rather than the other way around. Yeah, he just didn't really have the poise there.
Brilliant pressing from Joe. Like I said, the left back to me just doesn't. I don't fancy him. He obviously got talent going forward, but he's just getting caught on the ball. He don't look up for a fight, and Joe certainly does. Every time he's got the ball, Joe's just high pressing him. Brilliant play from Joe there, but yeah, a little lack of quality from Jeffs.
Palmer under a bit of pressure from Broom inside his own half. Stood up to it well, did Palmer, and clipped it down the line looking for Corbianu. Galloway gets there first. There was just possibly a chance he could have let that run out, but he didn't take the chance and smashed it to the back of the lower portion of the Mayflower grandstand. Palmer to take the throw on the right-hand side. Over 300 games for Wednesday. Has seen plenty during his time as the 29-year-old Palmer. Takes the throw, but Wednesday keep it, but they've had to work backwards to the halfway line into the feet of Berahino. Not really seen much of him since he came on, and he's blocked there by a great tackle by Kamara, who gets the ball back and now crosses the halfway line. Not too much in front of him to help, so he cuts back, holds it up. Still not much on, but it's a safe ball across the back three to Wilson. Gosh, Kamara's had a good game today. Wilson, Edwards, clipped in, Broom was arriving. Good header by Iorfa, who's had a pretty good game himself, actually, Dom Iorfa. And now Corbianu tries to get away from Connor Grant and does so on two occasions. Grant actually even tried to foul him and didn't. Corbianu continues. There's now several Argyle players back, including Jeffcott, who's made that run into a left-back area. That's not really where you're used to seeing Jeffcott. And in fact, it's Galloway that wins it back, but fair play to Luke Jeffcott, putting in a shift to assist Connor Grant then.
Yeah, his work rate has been outstanding. It'll be interesting to see if Ian Hardy can just keep it up for the full 90 minutes, because they've literally run their race for sure.
Shadipo on the left-hand side cuts in field, held up by Wilson, does enough to push it back to the fringes. Chance here from distance for the shot from wing. That was a better effort. The angle that we were at, it looked pretty close, but Cooper was able to see it away from his right-hand post.
And he can hit him. Played with him at Yeovil. From distance, he can certainly hit a football. Same as Bannon. So although we want to, not encourage them, but if they're going to shoot from anywhere, from distance, still got to be careful and make sure it's an under-pressure shot there. No pressure on the ball. A lad of his talent, expect to hit the target maybe.
He's a Middlesbrough player, Lewis Wing, on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. As Ryan said, had loan spells including Yeovil among others. But he's got some ability, he's got some talent, and he certainly fancied his chances from distance there. Didn't quite pay off. Bannon now being forced back into his own right back area by Connor Grant, who's tried not to foul. Got a toe on it, did Grant, so it's rolled out of play for a throw in, but it is literally about as close to the corner flag as you can possibly get. So Palmer will try and get his way out of the corner for Wednesday, down the line. Headed infield by Grant, picked up by Kamara. I thought it was going to be short to Edwards, but it got there. And now Kamara again, dead centre, tries to shoot from distance, is blocked. Gets the loose ball though, will it fall to Hardy? Not quite. Edwards trying to get the loose one as well. Good defending by Shadipo in a defensive area. Not really known for that, Olamide Shadipo, but he did well there. Argyle have it back with Wilson, in towards Hardy, tried to get beyond Hutchinson, who heads clear. Berahino holds off Houghton, but plays the ball behind his teammate. Berahino, he was being held. No, says the referee, who was very close to that. Edwards throw into Jeffcott. Iorfa slips. Jeffcott didn't know that, I don't think, and continued back to goal, but continues with the ball on the right flank. Good ball infield towards Edwards. Jeffcott again. Kamara, edge of the box. Hardy on the edge wants it. Will he hit it first time? He thought about it, tries to turn away inside the D. Creative, but in the end there were too many defenders around. Ryan Hardy certainly thought about hitting that one first time. It was a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone will blame him for not taking it on and trying to be creative. It's what he can see at that moment in time, and from here it looked like the shot might have been on, but clearly not. Again, great passage of play, link-up play through Joe Edwards and Jeffcott down that side. Plymouth just looked full of energy and full of life.
We've got around about 20 minutes to go. It's still Argyle 2.
That's brilliant.
Wednesday 0. And the aside there from Ryan Dixon, that's brilliant, was for Scar reading another one that came over his head, and he just glanced it back to Cooper.
Just read the ball and the threat, that there was no pressure on the ball early doors on his back foot, and just dealt with it so easy. It's just that football intelligence.
Well, he's got the name, Dan Scar, of a cartoon villain, but he's very much the opposite of those two things as far as Argyle are concerned. Here's a chance for Shadipo, gets to the edge of the box, and who's there again? Dan Scar with a tackle. Not only that, but the referee gives a handball against Shadipo. I like it when a player that we're praising does something well while we're talking about it. So it's what's the opposite of the curse of the commentator? We were talking that one up, and there's Dan Scar again. I don't know if he's the pride of Pride Rock, maybe Prince Rock at the moment. We're starting to love him here in Plymouth. That was a great challenge again.
Yeah, certainly. Back three. I mean, it is chalk and cheese from last year. There was nothing against the defenders last year. It's just people learning their trade. This year they got people who, that they know their trade, that they're experienced and have a lot of pedigree and quality. And it just looks so comfortable for them at the moment.
Wednesday have the ball with Bannon very deep on the field, just about kept hold of that under severe pressure, goes for the return ball. Broom followed him all the way then. In the end it was a combination of Broom and Wilson that led it to a throw in. Down goes Shadipo, wants a foul again. To be fair to the referee, he's been quite consistent, certainly in the second half, of not giving any of those. I wanted one from an Argyle perspective earlier on, but he didn't give. Broom, Hardy, goalkeeper's come out, Hardy plays it around him, it's wide! The goalkeeper actually got something on it and it's gone out for a corner.
Brilliant run, brilliant ball. Just that channel in behind that left back, which we spoke about earlier, and Hutchinson, who's 32, he's going to get exposed later on in the game. And there was that opportunity. Be fair, the goalkeeper's done well. He stood up late, possibly. I'd say actually good goalkeeping for me.
Could Hardy have squared that to Jeffcott, who was with him? I know forwards always have the instinct to shoot, but if he squares it to Jeffcott, can he roll it in?
You can, but everything happens so quickly. You've got to remember his head's down looking at the ball, goalkeeper's coming out. The only thing he's thinking about is finding the net. Possibly could have took it on with his left foot instead of the outside of his right, but for me, goalkeeper's done well.
It just trickled wide, but Argyle have the corner. Out onto the far post. There's Scar, heads it back across and just over. Not quite sure whether he was trying to head it back into dangerous territory or whether to send it into the far post. Either way, radar was just off and it goes over the top and onto the over the crossbar. Wednesday with the early goal kick, but that's going to go out for a throw in. Two chances, the Hardy one just wide from the shot, and then Scar coming forward again. Could he have done better with the header? Well, it was a difficult one. He was backpedaling a little bit.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said before. When you're backpedaling, it's that one. Can you get it back across the goal? But then you've always got in the back of your head across the goal into that far corner, and the spin on the ball and backpedaling. You always just don't get enough on it. It happens all the time. It's quite a hard header, that.
I think he's thinking far post, and if it goes in, it goes in, and if it drops to someone else, it drops to someone else. Oh, crossfield ball, picked up by Kamara, on the edge of the box, can he square it? Oh, he's gone for the near post. If Jeffcott was annoyed at Ryan Hardy, he's even more annoyed now at Panucci Kamara. To give Kamara the benefit of the doubt, I'm not sure whether it just got beyond him and he was just reaching and wasn't able to get the ball across to Jeffcott, but I think it was the option this time if he could have got it across there. What a great ball. I think it was Grant, and now's a chance for Wednesday through to Gregory inside the area at the far post, coming in. There's a chest down. It didn't quite fall for Berahino. Not behind by Argyle for a corner. Well, this is just frantic stuff here. I'm struggling to keep up.
Brilliant. What we said about the left back for Sheffield Wednesday, we've just literally got right in behind him with that 8 run from Kamara, and obviously nearly creating a chance, and then on transition, bang, they're straight down the other end.
A little ball across there by Gregory. It found the run of Corbiano. He chested it down looking for a teammate. I think he could have headed for goal. We'll come back to it. Corner for Wednesday. In it comes. First contact is from Scar. Back in by Shadipo. Wilson might think about seeing this out. He's got Gregory for company, but the ball is travelling with enough momentum that it goes behind for a goal kick. Brilliant. Back to that Wednesday chance. Again, am I being harsh on
No.
Corbiano? I thought he had headed for goal.
No, for me, he's been rashing. He shot, come in earlier, shot from distance. For him to just chest that, the ignorance of him really, when you're 2-0 down, to think that you're going to have enough time to chest it into somebody's path from the 6-yard line is ridiculous. Just head the ball in. Darren Moore must be, say tearing his hair out, he's got no hair, but going crazy.
There's an injury to Joe Edwards, or at least there's a pause in play to allow him to get treated for the second time today, and I think it might be the second and final, because Jordan Garrick is ready to come on.
Been outstanding, Joe. I mean, certainly literally left everything on the pitch. Been a real leader of men today, and certainly a proud performance from him.
It looks like he is coming off. He applauds the 5-figure strong Green Army today, and they return that applause with some gusto. Popular figure enough here around here to be Player of the Year last year, Joe Edwards.
Always is. Come across him at Yeovil, everywhere he's been. Certainly, he's just a club man, and really gets involved in the community. Fans love him, players love him, managers love him. He's just that type of lad. Lives for football. Mr. Reliable, isn't blessed with the most amazing talent, but always manages to affect games, and just a lovely lad as well, to be fair to him.
And an even nicer piece of professionalism from you there after Joe slaughtered you while you were trying to do Argyle TV earlier on.
Yeah, face for radio, he said.
Foul on Dan Scar. Argyle have a free kick in their right back area. So Jordan Garrick has come on. He'll come in to the same position that Edwards was playing in. He's a different type of player, and it's a different type of challenge for Jordan Garrick. We touched on it briefly in the first half, but he's naturally an attacking player. He's a winger, and he came on to that effect last time we were here at Home Park. Nearly won the game against Fleetwood with a smashing shot that hit the crossbar, but that time he was being asked to go forward and create things to win the game. Today he's going to be asked to be a little bit more sensible, play the shape and see Argyle over the line here.
Yeah, it's, well, the way Rye played, like, he's literally saying get up, on front foot, go and press. So for a minute things won't really change. He'd be encouraged to press, but at the same time we don't know a lot about the lad. What he can do at right wing back, I guess we're going to have to see. He might be capable defensively, certainly athletic, that's for sure.
His first job really is to come and press against Johnson, who's going backwards and backwards, and he's done well there, Garrick. He's got a foot on it. Wednesday have just about got it with wing. He's being pressured all the way by Paducci Kamara. Ball cleared, but Scar meets it first. Kamara just beaten to it by Hutchinson, and now a chance for Shadipo, trying to strip away from Wilson, who just drops off and gives himself some yards against the quick Shadipo, who bursts down the flank and I think has run it out of play. The cheers from the Argyle fans were slightly premature. He may have made that on Olamide Shadipo, but in the end he didn't. It's behind for a goal kick.
Brilliant defending from James Wilson. It isn't, I don't know how old James Wilson is now, but he's got to be getting close to 30. He ain't going to be running a running race with the likes of Shadipo.
He's more than, off the top of my head, I think he's 32.
I don't, he's got to be younger than that. He's just played 1v1 there is outstanding. He's always been athletic, to be fair to him. He's such a good signing for Plymouth so far.
Speaking of Player of the Year, he was Player of the Year at Ipswich last season.
Not surprised.
And I think he's got the armband, hasn't he? I know people like to know who's the skipper when the captain goes off. I think that Wilson's got the armband. Free kick in midfield. It's another one of these situations where the referee has given a free kick for Sheffield Wednesday, probably rightly, but Ryan Broom got the loose ball and was then fouled himself. The Wednesday player that brought Broom down may well have found himself in trouble for that one, but it's going to be a free kick to Wednesday for the first infringement. Maybe 40 or so yards out, so I don't think it's going to be a shot on goal.
Yeah, I just think Plymouth have to weather the next 5 minutes and then get a foothold back in the game. I think it's going to be a little bit of a scrappy mid part of this half, if you like. So yeah, just keep the ball out of the net. Defenders a unit.
It's not terribly long to go. It's only about 7 or 8 minutes plus whatever is going to be what's going to be added on. So fortunately from our perspective, it seems to have whizzed by this game.
It really has.
Referee has a little chat and books Houghton and Gregory. if you're keeping track on that one. Houghton into the book, Lee Gregory into the book, but it is a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Ryan Hardy at the moment is about 3 yards away from the ball, just making sure that there's no quick free kick taken. The ref will now go through his paces and draws a line. Still probably the best part of 6 or 7 yards outside of the box, so there's a long way out here for Wednesday, but it's not a massively different position to where Argyle got their second from. On that occasion it was a flighted ball by Grant. This time it's going to be Wing, clips it in, Scar gets something on it, it's out for a corner. Wednesday looking to just keep up their pressure here. This time it'll be a delivery from the right flank. Bannon whisks over to take it. Argyle have everybody back, everyone in the area bar Hardy, who is right on the edge of it, and the referee is going to give us our obligatory chats to all the players to remind them not to foul one another. Bannon has his arms raised, he's waiting for the referee's signal. Here it comes. Bannon left-footed. It's a clip to the far post. He's looking for Iorfa. There's a bundle of players in the middle. Have gone. About 4 players went down in the middle. The referee says that the contact was initiated, I assume, by Sam Hutchinson, who was in there, and it's a free kick to Plymouth Argyle. Defenders Union. Defenders always get those free kicks, don't they?
Yeah, good body contact, good discipline, to be fair, there from Plymouth. Yeah, like yourself, I think we've just got to weather the storm, see what Sheffield Wednesday really can chuck at them in the last part of this game.
It's a free kick, it's Mike Cooper to take. And he fires it towards Ryan Hardy. It's over him, it's over the defender, and out for a throw in. Just looking to Argyle's bench as we get into the final 5-6 minutes or so of the game, just to see if there is going to be any movement. We've mentioned about Hardy and Jeffcott running themselves into the ground. Well, Kieran Agard, who is Argyle's newest signing, has not got a lot of football under his belt over the last, well, this season and indeed last time. He only played 1 game last season. He needs minutes, but he's not going to come on yet by the look of things. Chance down the left-hand side for Wednesday. Shadipo goes down. Good defending.
Yeah, outstanding defending from James Wilson again. Certainly a threat to Shadipo. Very, very fast.
He is, he's quick, and he got away from Wilson there, and they were shoulder to shoulder. The ref was very, very quick, wasn't he, with the old mind-sweeping 2 arms. No, he said, cut the grass with his arms, and said that's not a foul.
Yeah, his 1v1 defending, Wilson's been outstanding today. Played with him, Brentford. We won the league. He come on loan from Bristol City, and he was outstanding. There's big talks about him then. I don't think he's quite hit the heights that everyone was talking about, but he certainly had a good career, and you can see why. Like, he's such a composed defender.
I've checked, by the way, he is 32. I'm sure he'll take it as a compliment that you think he's younger.
Yeah, well, it is a compliment because he moves so well. I wasn't moving that well at 32, that's for sure.
Free kick to Sheffield Wednesday just inside the Argyle half. Bannon is urging Corbiano to give him the ball so he can take it quickly. Jeffcott is stopping that from happening. Bannon doesn't sling it into the area. Instead he goes backwards to Hutchinson, deciding that keeping the ball moving is a better idea than going for a Hail Mary. Gregory leaves it to Shadipo. Back to Johnson, who crosses first time. It's not bad, you know. Bannon's header! Oh, he's got to hit the target. From an Argyle perspective, I think he's got to be looked after a bit more, but once he gets there, Bannon, he's not even jumping, is he? By the time it gets to him, he's done all his work on the ground to muscle the Argyle defender out of it. He's tried to steer it into the corner and headed wide. That's a great chance.
It's a great chance. Of all those players as well, you'd expect to be on the end of a header. It wouldn't be Bannon. But again, left back, we mentioned how bad he is defensively, but how good obviously he is going forward. Great ball from him. You just see James Wilson there talking to Garrett, the young lad who's come on, just to say, look, this is what we want from you. We need to shore up this side now. It's just those disadvantages maybe of losing your skipper in those vital moments of the game, but it's nothing that Plymouth have got too much to be worried about, I don't think.
The fact that there's a 2-goal cushion as we get into the last 2 or 3 minutes here. It's Argyle 2, Wednesday 0. If it was 1-0, it'd be a bit more edgy, wouldn't it? Although if Wednesday get one, it's going to be edgy for the remainder. But at the moment,
yeah,
the clean sheet is intact. The 2-0 lead is intact. Inevitably, Wednesday having some attacking moments as we get towards the end of this game, and most of the good ones are coming from this man Bannon. He's now clipped it towards Shadipo, who is quick, but he's not that quick. We have seen him a few times. Shadipo actually played at Home Park twice last season, once for QPR and once for Oxford, who he was on loan to. He's still a QPR man. He's actually only played about half an hour for Wednesday so far, but they will think of him as being a real prospect, both at QPR and for what he can do this season at Wednesday. He's going to be a danger to a lot of teams and has looked lively since coming on, but fortunately for Argyle, they've kept him largely at the periphery. Here's Iorfa coming out from the back. He's going to stay forward as well, the big centre half, as Corbianu on the right hand side gets himself into the area, gets past Conor Grant, not quite. Grant got a toe on it. Broom, I always want to say swept up, and I don't want it to sound like a pun, but that is literally what he was doing. Caught myself there, but he was covering. And he managed to get round.
You can say it, he was sweeping.
Yeah, but he actually was. I want to stay away from that pun, but he actually was on this occasion. Corner on the right hand side. Bannon. The 6-yard box is full. That's the target. It's headed out partially. Chance here for Corbianu. Shoots. Oh, it's saved. Back in it comes. Blocked. Still in the 6. Away partially by Wilson. And in the end, it comes out to wing. And then he plays it to the wing. Corbianu. Bannon again. Broom is trying to stop the cross. There's 3 Argyle players out there. Great feet by Bannon. Plays it into wing, who clips it inside. Once more the shot. Blocked by Galloway. I felt that as he stretched. Must have unbelievably flexible groins to block that one. Headed by Wilson and then away by Houghton up to the halfway line. Wednesday will have to start again.
This would be the part of the game. I'll wait till the game's finished before I say it, to be honest. I might say it now.
An offside, so
the part of the game Ryan I'd be really, really proud of. Mothering the goal, you know, bodies on the line. Defenders seem to see the Green Army now, like, appreciate that type of stuff. I mean, always happens, end of the game, but you've got to have bodies on the line, defend your box really well, which Plymouth just demonstrated that extremely well.
Just to mention one more time for viewers on international Argyle TV that are seeing today's game, hopefully you'll have had a replay of that chance. We're actually not getting replays in the press box today. I'd like to see that Cooper save again, because I tried not to call anything on it because he saved it. I rather thought it hit him in the face. And if it just hit him in the face, then that's the way it goes. But if it was a reaction save, then it was a heck of a save, because Corbianu got a great strike on it. It was fizzing towards goal. I was ready to call a goal, and Cooper kept it out. However he kept it out, credit to the goalkeeper for that one, because that is putting it on the line to keep your clean sheet clean.
And then Galloway after. Well, I don't know who blocked them, to be honest, but I know Galloway did at one stage, and just bodies on the line, mother the goal. Everybody in that 18-yard box defending, putting literally your face on the line, like you just said, for your goalkeeper. It's a really proud performance from Plymouth. So, well, I don't want to say it, speak too early, but it's been outstanding.
Substitution. Luke Jeffcott is coming off to a big ovation, and he's replaced by Kieran Agard, who becomes the latest Pilgrim. Agard is 31. Counts among his teams Milton Keynes, who he played 166 times for. He only played once last season. Before that, he was at Rotherham. In fact, in 2012-13, Rotherham beat Argyle 1-0 twice, and Agard scored the only goal on both occasions. He's on now to become a Plymouth Argyle player. He can stop scoring against us and do a job for us, but it's a defensive one he does early on here, tracking back as Wednesday try and craft their way through. Gregory tries to drop the shoulder and fizz it across. Great defending by Galloway. And there he is, Agard. His first touch is a defensive one. Gregory tries to get beyond Galloway, and right in front of the assistant gives a free kick for a foul by Galloway. I'm not really sure what Brendan Galloway could have done there, as Gregory pushed it past him.
Yeah, just use experience. Pushed it past him, jump on the floor, win a free kick. He hasn't had a sniff. I don't want to speak too soon, but they've certainly kept him quiet. Let's see if they can just keep defending that box, keep showing what they've shown so far in terms of bodies on the line, aerial duels.
Cross from the right hand side, good header away by Houghton. Falls to Bannon, lofted back into the area. Good header by Scar this time, as Argyle keep everything out, keeping the box clean of the ball is what they want to do. Keep repelling it. Out it goes to the left hand side. Ball played in towards Bannon, tries to get it round the back for Shadipo. Can he keep it in? He does. Crosses. Wilson wins this header. Out to the edge of the box. Shot from distance from wing. Gets through the bodies. It's wide. It wasn't all that far wide. Cooper was stretching. There's a couple of Wednesday shouts for a corner, but they don't get one. It's a goal kick. Argyle holding on a little here. but they've earned this position.
Exactly that. Defended their box out extremely well, which at times last year you could say didn't happen towards the end of games. This season they just look so comfortable, literally bodies on the line. Men look like men.
5 minutes to be added on. Argyle need to see out just 5 more minutes to claim their second home win of the season, and what will feel like a decent scalp. We won't talk about that yet. Let's let it happen before we talk about it. Wednesday with a free kick just outside the centre circle in their own half. Bannon plays it short to his left to Johnson. He's in quite a lot of space. Shadipo has to go back to Hutchinson. It's attack versus defence. Wednesday getting bodies forward, trying to get themselves in a position to attack, but at the moment Argyle are keeping their shape and keeping it along with the back line of Wednesday. Iorfa strides forward, gives it to Bannon. Iorfa has continued his run into the area. He's the target from the cross, gets something on it, but it'll fall to Wilson, edge of Argyle's area. I was going to say calmly plays it to Broom. He might have been a bit less calm and hit it longer up the field, because Corbianu has got it back for Wednesday. Gets to the left-hand side, tries to get the cross, and it bounced back off of him. And that's one of those moments when it's not your day, it's not your day. His cross was blocked by the recovering Panucci Kamara, but it went back off of, it actually wasn't, it was Jordan Garrick, I beg your pardon, but it went back off of the Wednesday player and out for a goal kick, and that will frustrate them, but it will delight the Green Army, and indeed you and I.
Yeah, I think they've run out of ideas now, Sheffield Wednesday. Manager looks depleted, looking at the floor a lot, arms behind the back, hasn't really said a word for the last 20 minutes. Just take your time here with the goal kick.
Long ball forward by Cooper on the right-hand side. Wednesday knock it forward, but then Scar returns it with interest. Iorfa's got a tricky bouncing ball. He's dealt with it of a fashion, tries to come away with it. Hardy picks up the loose one, bursts down the left-hand side. In the end, it's a bit of a 50-50. Iorfa gets away with it, and then calmly done by Palmer. Amazingly calmly done by Bannon, who nearly got caught by Kamara, but plays it to Berahino. Great challenge by Wilson. Bannon again picks it up. He doesn't deserve to be on the losing team today, Barry Bannon. He's been outstanding, and now he plays it into Berahino. Corbianu leaves it for Palmer. Can he get a cross in from the right-hand side? He's got 4 to aim at. Actually plays it to Corbianu, goes for the second ball, but great defending. Firstly by Connor Grant, assisted by Dan Scar, and then Mike Cooper leaps on the loose ball. Grant has stayed down, ostensibly for cramp.
Brilliant.
He's just checking now.
Great defending, intelligent defending from Connor. He's obviously, he literally gave everything he can give here. Now he's got cramp, and you can see it. To track that run, stay patient, don't give away a penalty, get your body in the way. They've really defended well as a unit, Plymouth. Just looked like an experienced unit to defend. They haven't put a foot wrong the whole game. Really credit to him, and it's been a really good performance in and out of possession.
The boos in the background are from the Sheffield Wednesday contingent, who are a bit frustrated with Connor Grant staying down. I'm sure the referee will add those moments on. The ball has been dropped. It was not a stoppage for a foul, so the referee drops it for Cooper, who now brings it to the edge of his area. And we'll just want to get this as far away from his end as possible. The atmosphere in Home Park is absolutely fantastic, as you can imagine. Hardy with Palmer, can't quite get to that one. Palmer brings it away with Iorfa, gets to the halfway line. Broom is on him every step. Ryan Law is going to come on for the final moments of the game when Argyle get a chance. Once more Iorfa has got forward, but a good interception by Houghton. So many important ones from him, and now Ryan Hardy. I think he wants to burst down the left-hand side. I'm not sure his legs are letting him, and his ball in field was a bit loose, which Palmer intercepted. Corbianu gets away from Broom, who pulls him back. He's going to get booked for that, is he? Did he not give him a free kick? Goodness me. He nearly took Corbianu's shorts off of him.
I think he has. Did he give a free kick?
I'm not sure. There's going to be a substitute. Connor Grant is going to come off.
Yeah, he's given a free kick.
Ryan Broom will be lucky if he doesn't get a booking here, because he blatantly pulled back Corbianu. Connor Grant comes off. Ryan Law will come on. There's only a few minutes to go, 2 seconds even. He'll come off, and he'll come on with Ryan Law and go on to the left-hand side of the back 5. Ryan Hardy's indicating to everyone else that it's a throw-in. He didn't give the free kick, you know.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that is harsh. Palmer to take the throw. Throws to Iorfa, lets it come across him. Not much in front of him. Argyle still keeping that green wall. In it comes towards Berahino, gets inside the area, gets the shot away, but that's easy for Cooper. First time we've really seen Berahino be lively enough to get the shot away.
Intelligent play, that, to be fair. A good strike play, into one, round the front of the other. Good play. That's where his experience and higher knowledge and quality, if you like, comes into play.
If the pair of them get fit and if they play the right kind of system, then you can see Gregory and Berahino being a very forceful strike partnership, can't you, for various teams in League One.
I think with Gregory, they've just got to go more direct for Wednesday. He's not a footballing type of footballer.
You wonder whether Berahino will be first choice and Gregory the secondary option for Wednesday as things go forward. But let's not worry about that today. Let's concentrate on Plymouth Argyle, and it looks to be a very complete performance from Argyle to get a couple of goals in the first half and then to control the game enough. It's not been a one-sided affair. Wednesday have had their moments, but Argyle haven't really looked under serious threat, and now they're playing it through. Is there a coup de grace here? Broom to his left, Ryan Law! Goal! Argyle make it 3-0, and what a moment for Ryan Law! Everyone pushes forward for Sheffield Wednesday and opens the space. Ryan Broom to Ryan Law, and he rolls the ball in. Argyle have killed this one off right at the death. Plymouth Argyle 3, Sheffield Wednesday 0. What a moment for Ryan Law, what a moment for the Green Army. Ryan Dixon, it's been a good day.
Yeah, watched him play in the under-23s against Exeter midweek, and he was the only one really who come out with massive credit, and hence why I think Ryan, the gaffer, has given the chance today, because he's certainly allowed the talent, willing runner, good attitude, and what a great play that was from Plymouth in the midfield, breaking lines and then creating that space for Ryan. He's took that so. The best thing about it is his first touch. Great first touch, and then a composed finish.
Really calm, wasn't it? The finish, he rolled it in. Wasn't very far out. Goalkeeper was bearing down on him, but some players, especially ones that are yet to score their first senior goal, and they might have a bit of a lash at it, but he rolled the ball in.
That's exactly it, Rob. I would usually, to be honest, take a touch and lash it into the far corner, towards the far corner.
Sheffield Wednesday kick-off, 2 touches, and the whistle blows. It's the end of the game. What a way to finish things off. Argyle scored after 6 minutes to get things rolling. They scored a similar time before half-time to make it 2, and it looked like we were going to see it out to a 2-0. But Ryan Law scores the goal right at the very end. We had no injury time left, but Ryan Law rolled it in. When he was brought on as a substitute, I imagine his gaffer said, keep it tight, you know, make sure you do the right thing defensively. He probably never thought he would touch the ball, and he scored his first goal.
Yeah, it's often the case. You come on and as a sub, that's what you have in your head, you know, don't make any mistakes, see out the game, do your job. But more often than not, the game opens up for you and you do get a chance or two coming on.
We're going to bring this post-match to you in association with Neil Diamond. And I suspect there's going to be a bit of a home park sing-along in a second. And we'll certainly stay with this to see the obligatory Ryan Lowe fist pump in front of the Devonport end. Wherever you are in the world, do sing along. Now I'm going to suggest this song is a little bit overplayed these days.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm kind of liking it.
Yeah. Real proud moment. Proud performance. It's second to none from start to finish. And like I said before the game, here we go.
Let's let the gaffer have his moment. I've said this a few times this season. I'm going to try not to do it all the way through the campaign because people get bored of me saying it. But I enjoyed last season at times. I struggled through it at times, but all the time I hated having no one here. When it was a great performance, the game against, oh crikey, who was it? Lincoln. The Lincoln game here, which was one of the best games I've ever seen at home park. The last-minute winner, and just not having 12, 13, 14,000 people to celebrate it with. To have everyone back in for a game like today.
Yeah, the football ain't the same, that's for sure. It's a fans game. It's just not the same at all. You can't play football without fans. Boring.
This is really, really fun to take in. I'm going to be honest, I've always preferred Crackling Rosie as far as Neil Diamond goes, but this one's a lot of fun at the moment. A fantastic performance from Argyle all round. We're making a lot of it in the end here. We'll enjoy our moment, but the 3 goals are great. To see the spread of the goals as well from largely defensive players as well, scoring the goals after we've put so much emphasis on the forward so far. But as much as anything, I think the manager will be happy with how Argyle professionally saw that game out. Forget that last-minute goal. If it had been 2-0, he'd have just been delighted about how that was seen out in the second half, wouldn't he?
Yeah, like I said before, I think he needed this type of game, not an open game, just a proper quality football game to showcase what he knows he's put together here, and it's just come all at once. It's just an outstanding performance. And then on top of that, like you said, to see out the game like they did, mothering the goal, putting their bodies on the line at the end, which is always the case in a game, and then you can nick another goal on the counter and see off the game. It's just an all-round proud performance. It'd be literally just like filled with pride, really.
The man of the match award has just been read out in the background. It's been given to Dan Scarr. A goal and a clean sheet, that's his kind of day, I suppose. But you were quick to say earlier on, as I mentioned Scarr, but the whole of the back three, in fact, we could go mad and say the whole of the 11, but the back three and the goalkeeper were really, really tight, weren't they?
All outstanding, all done their jobs. If it's paper marks, you're giving 9s and 10s for the whole team, no doubt about it. Scarr hasn't put a foot wrong, Wilson hasn't put a foot wrong, Galloway hasn't put a foot wrong. But then, like you said, you go through the whole team, they have not put a foot wrong from the front to the back. It was honestly the most honest performance from a team, and then when they had the ball, the quality was outstanding.
I'm going to go mad here and say that in Ryan Lowe's time as manager, which has been pretty cool so far from an Argyle perspective, generally, I think that might be the best Argyle performance since he's been manager, and we've had some good ones.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot, but that performance is one of the best performances of football I've seen